Oh, yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
We're back again so soon.
Yep. We're here.
Squeak. Cheers.
Cheers.
The ritual.
Get it.
For a second, it looked like you were about to, like...
Well, these new upper class glasses that we got, it just
Yeah.
brings a certain amount of elegance to the
God.
podcast drink.
Victory burrito. And some quesadillas.
So obviously,
Ah,
if you follow the podcast, we did the bin challenge today, which will be a separate video that we posted. But the Peter Weber is still on Mr. Fortuna's side of the table, and I paid for this Taco Bell.
yeah. Oh,
I
man.
I did not win.
Yeah. And this bonus burrito was a bonus due to a fantabulous putt
Yes.
with the Crank SS.
Yeah, it's like a 50-foot Crank SS.
Did you have
wobbler.
instant regrets right after you said it?
No.
Okay.
I didn't think that there was any chance of you making it.
Yeah.
I thought for sure that it was a safe. At least I could. Make the bet
Oh,
back.
yeah.
Because you almost gave me the chance, but I blew it.
Yeah, I think I give you 2 of them or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Putting with drivers is a little bit different. Not something I practice a whole bunch.
Crazy.
Oddly enough. But I did get a couple reps in today. I don't know anybody that's going to want to listen to you fucking make mouth noises into the mic, but that's okay. So,
That's what I did. It's only for a quick
we're
second.
just going for viewership.
Yeah.
Not a big deal.
Why not? Love you guys.
All right. So first thing we'll go over is obviously going to be the bin challenge. So we talked about it last time, and today we did it. So we basically set up 18 bins, 36 discs associated with each bin, and then you had 4 dice. 1 dice determined which group, one of the 3 groups, and then the other one determined which bin in that group. The second one indexed you to a certain set of 6 discs in that bin, and then the last dice actually picked that disc.
Yeah, it was a sweet setup.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
I thought the execution of the challenge itself was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a
So,
lot of fun.
Yeah, we each rolled 12 times, got our numbers for our 12 discs. You have a little bit of an idea what you're getting.
Yeah.
Because the bins are kind of set up a little bit in like putt and mid, fairway to control, and then higher speed drivers. So you know if you just keep getting that group over there that like you're stocking up on putters and approaches.
Yeah. I'd like to see at one point, like, no organization of discs.
Yeah.
To where you just get whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think next time I'll just shuffle up the bins. So the issue is, and
I see.
the reason why I did it the way that I did it is just because of the shelves. So over here I could put 2 stacks of shelves or 2 stacks of bins on these shelves. So these bins had to contain 36 discs.
Yeah.
So I did the putter and mids over there because like we had the little stack of like discs that didn't fit in the bins to keep 30 discs or 36 discs with each bin.
Right.
So I needed an empty shelf above them to do it. So if I were to switch like putter bins over into here, I don't know where I would put the extra discs associated with those bins. Does that make sense
Yeah.
to you? But yeah, I liked it because you literally had a shot at every roll of getting any disc.
Yeah.
The only thing with it being set up the way that it was is you kind of had a little bit of an inclination, which doesn't matter, about like, okay, cool, I got a putt.
Yeah, like even if you knew every time what you're getting, like
Yeah.
it's still roll the dice. Like
Yeah, but we
It's just
didn't.
yeah.
We didn't know till we went like once we had all the numbers, then we went through and actually like picked out all the discs and the picking out of the discs. Like once you have the numbers, you're reading me numbers, I'm pulling discs.
Yep.
It was still pretty cool
Yeah.
because you were like you almost got an XD.
Yeah.
You were like
Yeah.
one.
I was hoping for it because I don't know if I've ever thrown actually like an XD.
Yeah.
Definitely none of those. I don't think.
So the regular XD and then those are like the champion XD.
yeah.
So those champion XDs, they did like one run for the factory store, and they're different than a regular XD.
Okay.
Yeah, they're very like touchy disc. They're good,
Yeah.
but basically
Similar
like
to our
it's even
training disc.
It's even different than the training disc. The issue with the XD is like if you don't put much on it, it's very consistent.
Mm-hmm.
It's just once it kind of like hits this point, Who knows?
Yeah.
It's like, is it going to turn over and just keep going? Is it going to like fight a little bit and then kind of come back?
Okay.
It's like the putting equivalent of like the mongoose, basically.
Why did you get them in the first place? Because I know you have
So back,
how many of them?
Back in the day, I think I got 4 of them.
Okay.
So back in the day, the XD was like one of the jams as far as discs. Like we're going way back. You know, you had like an MRV or MRX or something for like a mid range. You know, and then the XD was like a good approach disc / putting disc. So I always really liked them. And then, like I said, like every year I always try to get like some kind of like old school disc, just as kind of like a spirit animal for the bag or whatever.
Yeah.
So when I was on the Innova Shop website, they had Champion XDs.
Ooh.
And I was like, dude, this is epic, right?
Yeah.
Because it won't get all beat in. And I got them, and they're fun to fuck around with. And that's back when I used to go to firefighters all the time and just throw for aces. So I'd always just like put them in the bag, like 4 XDs in the front, and then whatever other putters I'm working on, just to like screw around with them. I got an ace with one of them, but I always really like them. Like they're fun discs to throw.
Ace at firefighters with it?
Yeah.
What hole?
I don't remember. It's in the bags.
You have every hole at firefighters ace?
No, I have 15 of them.
Which are you missing?
3, 11, and 18.
That's what I was going to say next, yeah.
Yep, pretty much. And then all the rest of them, except for 6, I have like a stack on. 6 I only got one time, and I got 6 right when they moved it to the current location. It was literally like the second day.
What was with that again? A turn?
A bolt.
Bolt, yeah.
Took a guy, never played disc golf before, threw the bolt because I was trying to show him like how to throw it or whatever. I threw it up, did a giant S in the air, and then just like cut in. And right as it like started to cut left, I was like, get in, and then just went the fuck in.
Okay.
Yeah, because it like literally they just moved it because it used to be over to the left there by 7.
Yeah.
Kind of on the left side behind that tree or by that tree or whatever.
Yep.
So they just moved it over there. So I was like throwing, I think that's the second time that I threw that hole in that location. And I was just throwing just to fuck around with the field because it was like the trees weren't as big as they are now, you know, and I was like, well, let's just see like what gets up there and what gets over there. And I threw the bolt and it went in. And I lost my mind. And he was like I'm playing with somebody that has no idea. And he's like, was that good? I was like, that could very well be the best shot I ever throw.
Yeah.
Like 300.
That's hilarious. Do you think you just desensitized him to aces because of it? And it's like, this just happens all the time.
Because
so.
after that, he went and played some, like, more on his own. Like, because I gave him some discs, and then he got some discs, and he went and played more on his own. And then later on, he was more like, dude, that was awesome. I was like, yeah, it's a 368-foot ace.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's the XD. But anyways, we went through, rolled all the numbers, got our numbers together, then went through, pulled all the discs. I ended up with duplicates. You did not. So I ended up with 2 Gators and 2 Surges, different plastics or whatever. But I got duplicates. And then we both had like decent setups.
Yeah.
Like we didn't really have. I had a couple discs that aren't my first choice. I'm sure you had a couple discs that aren't your first choice. Yeah. But overall, like, we had decent setups.
I was happy with how our setups came about because they were pretty different. Like, we have them up here. We got the beautiful Deluxe Mini, one of many bags here. We won't talk about this. Nice little water bottle. What do I get? Oh my God, these! I swear. Are you sure this Sparta's like regular weight? I was pretty convinced every time I threw it that it was like, every time I was putting, I was like paper plate, paper plate, paper plate.
I got a scale. I can show you.
Whichever. So yeah, I got a nice little Sparta. Used to putt with these. Same with this Challenger, number 1. Glow zone, a little straighter than I thought it would be on the one shot that I threw it. This Jokery is super nice.
Yeah, it was a workhorse for you.
Yeah. I threw this. I think I got it like 4 or 5 times or something.
Hands down, one of my favorite discs.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. If you don't know, Jokery is like a slower zone.
Made by Pro Discus.
Made by Pro Discus.
Yeah.
The thing that I like about the Jokery more than the zone is they hold their stability longer than a zone. So like that Jokery can take a beating and it still
Do you
holds
think that's
stability.
all their plastics like that for all their molds?
Yeah, like their plastic is top notch.
Yeah,
for sure.
I love it. Like every time I've had it, it's amazing
Yeah,
plastic.
all their plastic is really nice. But
Yeah.
those Jokeries like hold. I mean, I got an ace with one last year, that red one, which I had for a long time, and then it had finally started to lose its stability.
Yeah.
And then I wrote on it like whatever, like why won't you go in or ace already or whatever, and then I
Yeah.
aced with it, and I was like, sweet. I don't
Did that
to throw it
have a
anymore.
longer aceless history than diarrhea? Diarrhea is another jokery that was the color
Old
of
school,
you know.
yeah, diarrhea.
Yeah.
No, diarrhea I think had the longest jokery aceless
Yeah.
streak.
Did you eventually ace with it?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, and then I had one that I got 2 aces with like the first day I ever took it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, golden boy. Yeah.
Yeah.
3 throws.
Yeah.
3
I
throws.
remember there was a few of them where it was like they had, I don't know, low double-digit throws on them, and then they were aced and then gone, and then diarrhea had like probably quadruple digit.
Quadruple digit throws, no aces.
Yeah. Yeah.
Diarrhea would always fuck with you though, because it would look like it was going in, and then be like, no, chain
No.
out, everything. Yeah.
Yeah. The jokeries are awesome. A lot of the only disc that I remember that I didn't like from theirs, that eventually there was a couple that didn't feel so cheeseburgery, was their mid-range, the Midari or whatever.
Yep.
And I think that was their only mid-range at the time. They have another one now, right?
Flippy.
Oh, yeah.
Fun flippy. Yeah.
Good.
Like you can do some amazing.
What's it called?
Starry.
That's right.
Yep. So like release it on a hyzer, watch it climb the ladder all the way over, and then
Yeah.
just
So a mid-range
drift to
crank
the right.
SS.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
It's awesome. It's
Yeah.
a great disc.
Yeah, so there's that, and then I got one of the best gators ever made,
Ever,
probably.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's glow plastic, but it's crazy flat, like obnoxiously overstable. I threw it on the one hole, and I was immediately it was just like, I should have put that on any, because I wasn't sure. I was like, I don't want to put too much on it, and then as soon as I threw it, I was like, I should have just did it, like
Yeah. It's almost a justice.
yeah, basically. And then you claimed that this wasp sucks.
Yeah.
I threw it one time.
Yeah.
I really liked how it flew.
Yeah.
I don't know. It
I,
feels
I
good.
just don't like that plastic for
Yeah.
a wasp.
Okay.
I like it for plenty of discs, but for a wasp, I just
Yeah.
don't like it.
Yeah, I don't know. Feels good to me either way.
Yep.
It did its job that one time that I threw it.
Yep. And that gator turns out is really good for 50-foot putts.
Maybe. The other one might be better that we'll get to eventually.
Yeah.
I have a, what is it? A Memorial Championship 2020 Scottsdale, Arizona, Fountain Hills. Hades? Thrasher? I don't
Thrasher.
know. Thrasher.
Glow
Yes.
color thrasher.
Glow color. Ooh. This was more stable to overstable than I
Yeah.
thought it would be.
So for me, that is like a perfect thrasher.
Yeah.
That
This is super nice.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
like the stability that I really like.
Yeah.
So the one ESP one that I have is that. The issue with the ESP ones is they kind of break in. My one is starting to give up on me a little bit. So then I just need to concentrate on staying over a little bit more. But I have probably like 3 thrashers that fly just like that. That is what I like.
Okay.
Because I think that that's like very
Yeah,
workable.
this thing's sick.
Yeah.
Cool color. All the good goods. Yeah, I threw it 3 times.
Yeah.
Or something like
But
that.
they all worked out.
They
just
all worked out,
they
dude.
just
One of
all-
them was just absurd. So I mean, I'll probably have the other video up before I have podcast up, but they'll be up relatively the same time. And one of the throws was just so skillfully placed.
Yeah.
It was such a good throw. It was. It was not good.
Yeah.
Either way, it turned out good.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It didn't turn over on you.
No, it didn't.
Yeah. You
Yeah,
put-
the couple times that I thought it would like stand up on me like real fast, it didn't do. Like even there was, I think the last time I threw it sidearm, and I was like, I gave it a lot of hyzer, and then it didn't stand up, and I was like, oh, okay, we're just doing this now. Like
Yeah.
sweet. Yeah, it was a good one. And then this,
Slady.
yeah, like before when you were throwing these all the time, I didn't have a couple, but every time I'd throw yours, it was a good time. I
Yeah.
like these discs a lot.
Yep. They're
Like,
great.
I don't even know what I'd compare them to, like a Wraith, maybe, or something. Like,
They don't have as much glide as a Wraith,
yeah,
and they're probably, depending on the plastic, they're probably a little bit more stable than a Wraith.
okay,
But I would say they're really equivalent to like a really, really nice Wraith.
mm-hmm.
Because their ability to work the line, like the one when you put it over and then it held to a little bit longer than you wanted it to,
Yeah,
you can really work them.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. This thing's sweet. Yeah, I enjoyed that one.
Yep.
Nuke OS, I think I had 2. I drew it twice. One was a putt on the last hole,
Yep.
which was thankfully from like 12 feet away. So
Yep.
I didn't have to fly for very long because they don't fly very long anyways. And then I had it on a longer.
You had a drive.
Yeah, I had a drive with it.
On 11.
Yeah, because I drew this and I drew a Crank SS.
Yep.
And
Very similar discs.
yeah, pretty similar.
Yeah.
Not even close to opposites or anything really. Super nice Nuco S actually too. Yeah, I thought it would fight out more when I threw it because I threw it like, I don't know, it was pretty steep Anheuser, and then it like flattened out and then stayed flat for a while, which I didn't expect it to do. Again, like kind of the funness of this. Like you have more of an idea. Me, it's like just send it, see what happens kind of thing. Like that I have a relative idea of
Right.
what it's going to do. But like Thrasher, besides throwing, like I told you earlier, the prototype ones when they came out,
Yeah.
this is the first time I've thrown a Thrasher.
Yeah, and I was telling you, it's not like I was being a dick. Like
Yeah.
when we were playing, I was like, that's not a super stable Firebird. It's like a
Right.
pretty stable Firebird, and like this is this. And I was just trying to tell you, like, in reference to something that I think that you would know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I know like a lot of these you have thrown. Like
Yeah.
you've thrown a Slady and all that other, and like the Joker you're relatively comfortable with, and yeah.
Yeah. So Firebird up next, Tilly's Party Store. This is like almost a pop top Firebird. It's definitely got dome, but it was more stable than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Like I threw it. I don't remember the first throw I had with it.
I think it's a good Firebird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, like it's
I threw it
workable.
on 10, right? 10 sidearm to the longer basket now from there. And then like when I ripped over on it, for a second I was like scared. It's like, oh, is it just going to like hold? And it came right out of it, but it still like was a slow come out of it, was able to get in the circle. Yeah, super nice. I hate that I love green discs. It's so stupid.
Yep.
Yeah, it's dumb.
That one I went to Tilly's last year or 2 years ago when we went to Traverse City, and I like had never been to Tilly's, but I knew like they support a lot of disc golf. They do a lot of stuff. So I was like, I'm gonna go support them.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to the store. Everyone there was drunk. Everyone
Nice.
going into the store shopping. I think everyone working at the store. Everything. So I went back and they had like
Really?
just remodeled the disc golf disc area. So I was like kind of haphazard. I couldn't really find discs that I would want. Like I was just trying to search for something that I could buy. And I think I got like a super light Archon or a super light Valkyrie or something just to have like a fun disc to fuck around with. And then I wanted something that said Tilly's on it just because I was going to like put it, at some point somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And that was really the only one that like was
Yeah.
that was a mold that I would even consider throwing that said Tilly's on it. And I was like, well, it looks
Because Tilly's is where at?
Traverse City.
Traverse City. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
So I was like, well, it looks like a middle of the road Firebird. So I got it. It is. It's a little bit more. It's the same thing. It's a little bit more stable than what it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because of how
Yeah.
like kind of domey it is.
Yeah. Either way,
Yeah, it's good.
it did its job today.
Mm-hmm.
Next up is another Prodiscus, a Legenda. This is probably their boss equivalent, maybe. It's a faster disc.
Yeah.
It's got stability to it. I remember throwing these before and really liking them too. And this was probably when they came out with them, I think.
Yeah, I
I
think
don't
that's the
remember.
second run of them.
Yeah.
So the thing with the Legenda is it's like a boss, but not as much glide and maybe a little bit more stable.
Yeah.
So even if you like killed that thing, it's not going to fly like a boss.
Yeah.
I really liked it for when I was learning how to throw it forehand because
Mhm.
I knew it would come back.
Right.
The weird thing with those is those are the one disc with them because most of their stuff's like really consistent. Like their Ultrium plastic, which is like their star, and then their premium plastic. The difference between the two is a little bit on each mold, and you can kind of figure it out.
Yeah.
They're the same run to run. So like for almost all their shit, like all the Ultriums for the Legenda are going to fly basically the same. All the premiums are going to fly the same. The difference between the two plastics is usually minimal, and one will always be a little bit less stable than the other one or whatever it is. The Legenda, do you remember I got that huge order from Finland?
Yeah.
We went to Firefighters, and I was like throwing, like, I don't know, I got like 12 Jokeries or something. It was right when the Ultrium plastic came out.
Yeah.
And we went, and I got those Ultrium Legendas, and they don't fly anything like those Legendas.
Yeah.
They fly like a katana or something.
Yeah.
Like a flippy katana.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I remember
was
like,
great.
Yeah, I remember throwing it thinking like, oh, this is kind of beefy, and then it just flipped up and was gone. I remember
Yeah.
we were throwing it on 10 at Firefighters
Yeah.
over the water, and then I
Yeah.
like ran it like up by 9 and by like 8's basket. And I was
Mhm.
like, shit.
Yep.
Yep.
It's got a use, but not for what I want.
Yeah,
Maybe.
yeah. I've had a couple like I'll take them. I used to take them to the field and like work on my form and stuff, and I had a couple of those like really just take off and fly on me. And then I was like, maybe I can use this in a bag, and then no, because they're a little touchy.
Mm-hmm.
They don't hold the wind very well. Those do.
Yeah,
Those
this
are like
one's sweet.
super reliable.
Mhm.
Yep.
Oh, the workhorse today. Wow, that burrito was good.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crank SS. You got this at what? The throw shop?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
a few months ago or
with
whatever.
you,
We
yep.
were there. Retail therapy. Shout out Throw Shop in Lakeshore. They usually have a great selection of discs.
Yep.
Go in there. Decent deals, all that good stuff. So you got this. Didn't you get this thinking it was a regular crank, or you got this?
I got it as a
Or-
crank SS
Yeah.
because I had just started throwing. I was still putting together like a Discraft set.
Yeah.
So I wanted something. I had not thrown a Thrasher yet.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I had any Proto Hades at that point. So I wanted something that would be like a good hyzer flip for tunnel shots.
Yeah.
So
Oh, and then it was more flippy than you expected it would
Yes.
be. Yeah, that's what
Yes.
it was.
because I was like, cool, like the crank is good, and I liked the crank, and I was like, all right, so if it's a crank SS, like I can hyzer flip it to flat for like tunnel shots and stuff like that, or if I need it to like turn over a little bit, I can do that.
Yeah.
And I got a Surge that day. No, I got the XL that day,
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
and then I think I got the Surge, the XL, and that.
Probably.
Yeah, and I remember
Yeah,
because the
I
XL
think
was
so.
$2.
We both got a decent amount of discs there that day.
Yep, and my Surge was money.
Mhm.
The XL was money, and I threw that, and I was like,
This found a place.
what? But yeah, then I
Yeah.
then I figured out how to throw it, and it's like
Yeah.
a very good utility disc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And especially for like form learning how to
Yes, it
throw
helped me
hyzer
a
flips
lot.
and control all that. Yeah, it's a great disc for that for sure, and other craziness. Shines as a putter. Cause what was it? It was on the back 9. I forget what hole that was.
Third hole, back 9.
15, 14, I think 13.
Yeah, fourth hole, back 9.
Yeah. Anyways, so you I gave you like, if you make this with this turn from like X feet away,
Right.
I'll get you one of these burritos or whatever. And then you're like, you know what? Screw it. Fine. If you make this putt,
Well, you blew the drive.
I didn't blow it entirely.
No,
But
so
it
you
wasn't-
you had this lady. You threw
Yeah.
the drive. You threw it too
Yeah.
hard.
Okay. So this hole is what?
270. Not even.
No.
215. 250. I don't know.
Whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah. And it's very minimal trees to contend with, really. And you have this pretty wide open gap. So I drew Crank SS and that Slady, and you drew Mongoose and a Wizard, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's say because you threw purple and then you had your regular putt. I opted for Slady out of the hand, and I was like, I'm just gonna put this on like a jackknife hyzer. Wasn't as stable as I thought it was gonna be out of my hand, and then immediately was like, that's gonna be way long or whatever. And then I smoked the tree, got foliage, and then I was like, oh cool. I was thinking I was like just outside circle 1, putting or something. Get up there, I'm outside circle 2 almost probably.
Yep.
And then Darren's like, all right, chicken burrito for this putt if you make it or whatever. I was like, all right, sweet. And then I was
Yeah,
like,
'cause
yeah,
it's
I
a
really
crank
want to make this.
SS.
Yeah,
Yeah.
also that. And I really just wanted to make it just because putting with the driver is hard. I found out today for sure.
Yeah.
Like the feel of it, like having such a low profile in your hand and then having dude, the thing was like in.
Yeah. It was dumb.
Yeah. So I made the putt, got
Yeah.
a shredded chicken burrito thing.
And that pretty much broke my spirit for the round. That was pretty much it for me. I was down a couple strokes at that point, and I was like, fuck this. And then it just it didn't get better for me after that. So my setup I'll just run through super quick.
Yeah, I get it.
I got a Wizard and an Envy. Super soft Wizard. I loved this Wizard when I got it because it's a super soft, but it's basically a soft.
Mhm.
It's like the stiffest super soft ever, so it's like a really nice.
Yeah, I wanted to see that actually. Because it looks bueno.
Yeah.
Mm.
So that whole Zulu, the voodoo bag over there, that big like aircraft carrier one, is all Wizards.
Yeah.
Some like 99% of them are sweet, and then I have 5 eraser Wizards that I ordered online, and they got sent to me, and they were like I ordered 9 of them, I think 9 or 10 of them, and I got
And they
them.
were not.
I ended up selling some of them off. No, they were like super hard, super slick, and really understable. Like the weirdest wizards I ever got. And I've gotten rid of some other wizards over time, but in there I just have like the ones that I've kept.
Yeah.
So that's a really nice like wizard bag, and they just make me happy. I love the wizard. Like it's what
Yeah.
I like started. Putting
Wizards
with.
are great.
Yeah.
Like,
And some of their plastic, like even when you just like pull them out, you're just like, oh yeah, they just feel so good. So I got the wizard. I got the envy. I only got to throw the envy one time. It was fine. It worked out. I got 2 gators. It's funny. This one, literally, hold on.
Yeah. And you're not cheating that.
No.
Because, like, I could pop top a crank SS if I wanted to.
Right,
But you're not doing
this
that.
is just straight up. I got this from the factory store. I got a few of these, and I was thinking like I'm gonna get some metal flake gators because this was when I was trying to make sure I had a backup for that one. I was like, I'm just gonna order what I think is gonna be like the most stable. So I got a few of these, and they're not stable.
No.
Like this one here, it's pretty pop top and whatever. It's got a use. It's just not what I was looking for. And then I had my luster gator. Same thing. Like when I was playing AM, I got prize money. Couldn't really find anything that I wanted, and I was like, "Oh, luster gator," thinking like, "Well, maybe this." I got it. It's about the same stability as the other one. First run titanium buzz that I got from Marty. Love this thing. I beat it in, so it's lost stability.
Threw it 0 times today.
Didn't get to throw it at all. Like this is literally one of like this disc makes me so happy. This is literally one of my favorite discs of all time. Yeah.
Disc like the mold or that disc specifically?
This disc and his brother. Yeah, because like these are the buzzes that I fell in love with the buzz.
Okay.
Like right when the titanium buzzes came out, Marty got me 2 of them. You weren't even allowed to sell them yet. You know, Marty.
Yeah.
I don't know where the fuck he got them from, but he like hooked me up. He's like, hey, and I was like, yeah. So I got these 2, and they did a lot for me for a long time, and then finally they just got broken in enough that they started going off. And then I got the American flag wasp. Turns out very difficult to find.
Every time.
Even though it's an American flag, and it seems like it would be very easy.
Very elusive.
Mongoose, difficult to pot with. And then we also found out it has, I mean, not that I needed to find it out, but it has a lot of glide.
Yeah. I mean,
Like-
it's basically a Roadrunner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of glide. Just keeps going. A couple surges. I did throw this.
Okay.
And I threw the orange. So I had 2 surges, both these surges. Yellow one's probably a little bit more stable than the orange one. Didn't really do too much with either one of them. Echo Star Turn, probably the disc I threw the most.
Putted with the most.
Yeah, I putted with it quite a bit. As far as Echo Star Turns go, this is relatively stable. This is like brand new. Like I got this, I did some field work with it. I bought a shit ton of them. They were at CJ's on the clearance rack for like $9.
Oh, nice.
So I bought like the whole stack of them. I think
Yeah.
I bought like 10 of them or something a few years ago because it was a good disc to like work on form because they're flippy and whatever. And then I actually started using them quite a bit on the course. Just this one I never really got to use to break in. This
Until
Punisher.
today.
This Punisher is a run of Punisher that I'm not super key on. Throwing it today, it was better than I remember it being. Like I have to say, like I threw it poorly twice, but I think if I spent a little bit of time getting used to it, I might actually really like that disc. Shockingly enough. And then this Slatey. So this is the first run of the Ultra in Plastic of Slatey. This was, I think, in the same thing when I got those Legendas. This is like basically my favorite Slatey of all time. I bagged this.
Is it more than the white one that you have that only X amount were made or whatever?
The Pro Tour ones?
Yeah.
No. But the Pro Tour ones are like the only ones that are like slightly more stable. They're about the same stability as this. And I love the Pro Tour ones, but I was actually like less concerned about losing the Pro Tour one than this.
Really?
Yeah. So when I got the Pro Tour ones and they're like slightly more stable than this, I was like, cool, because I don't have to throw this anymore because I didn't want to lose this.
Yeah.
The one that you have, that Devin Owens one, is a little bit less stable than this.
Okay.
So that's it. That was my bag. Yeah, a little tight.
Debut of the Camo Mini Deluxe.
Yeah, Camo Mini Deluxe I've owned. Again, we're going to get back into my neuroses, but owned this bag for a few years. Never used it. I have a Carolina.
Was it ever used?
Never.
Okay.
I got it brand new.
From them?
Yes.
Nice.
From Gotta Go Throw.
Okay.
So the Carolina team bag I have, the digital camo, and then I got this one because this will, when I bought it, I was thinking for my hypothetical future son or daughter, when they start disc golfing, I'll be like, we'll go cool. I'll go old school with the Carolina team. They'll have the Deluxe Mini. we'll rep it up on the course. It'll be epic. So I just never used it because I was like saving it for them. But for this challenge, I figured I would take it out, get a sweet win on film, and then when they use it all those years later, I could be like, yeah, here's the first time that bag was used. But now I'm just going to bury this footage, and they'll never know. I'll just tell them, like, yeah, I used it once just to try it out and see how it worked. It worked great. But no, it's cool. It's super cool. I had stored, like, I think the last couple years of Ace discs in that bag because my Carolina team ones are full. So I just used this one.
How many aces do you have? Do you know?
I have no idea.
Are you triple digits yet?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I hit, I want to say I'm probably like, a lot of them are practice, so I don't want any comments. I don't want any shit. I don't care what your thoughts are.
And
on
before
ace.
Cubby ace everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah. So I got a lot of aces just taking a bunch of the same disc and throwing it from the tee pad in a row and hitting the basket. So
because you were like more specifically going for aces, but honing a shot.
yes.
Yeah.
So I would start, and it for a long time is the way I would start my season. So like when I would throw some in the winter, but once I got decent outside, like I would just start at the shortest hole with putters because it's the least amount of wear and tear on my shoulder, least amount of wear and tear on my knees, and
Start
just
waking your body up.
yeah, start waking my body up, waking my form up. All right, so I'm throwing a 200-foot hole with a bunch of putters, and then once I would ace it, unless it was like the first bag that I threw, I would move to like the next longer hole, and then whatever, and then just slowly, then after a month or two into the season, so then like I would start in late February, early March. So by the time like April came around, I'm all warmed up, my form's all honed back in, and I'm all together. That's before I did anything in the winter for disc golf. So like my winters, I just would play some random rounds, but I wasn't like working out, or I didn't have the inside driving range or any of that. And then that's how I learned how to throw a backhand. Like once I was like, okay, I need to learn how to throw a backhand. The first few years of that was literally just standing at tee pads throwing it. But instead I was throwing like rogues, and whatever other drivers I was throwing at the time at like 240-foot holes.
Yeah.
Just trying to figure out a backhand. And then as the years progressed, I was trying different shots. So like hyzer flips and whatever. And it would keep me practicing. It made practice fun. So it was like, for me, it's the difference between like running on a treadmill or running outside. Like I could do it in a field. But I always feel like, and not so much anymore, but I always feel like you lie to yourself with field training. You know what I mean? Like, because you're just throwing into an area. And then when it lands, you're like, yeah, that's kind of where I was trying to throw. You know what I mean? Like you do. It's just natural inclination. Like you throw it and you're like, yeah, okay, cool. You're not thinking like, oh, I'm trying to throw it like right here. Like I do now, but like when I was learning how to throw and when I was like working out the kinks and really hammering my left arm in the air, like into my muscle memory hardcore.
Yeah.
I just didn't like throwing in the field because I felt like I didn't have any accountability for my shot because I would just throw it and then be like, oh, okay, that was cool. It created some bad habits, but it's really, really made me like my upshot game still to this day is just from all that work. Like 300 and in, I'm pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like, I've made money doing that way.
Yeah, it's solid. Every time I go to the field, I have to like perpetually remind myself I'm just practicing a feel.
Yes.
Like that's it. So I'm like working on release point, footwork, like building this momentum and putting it into the disc and having that release point be a consistent whatever.
Yeah.
Because it's so easy to lose track of distance in a field. Like unless you make the disc like extra small, having no real reference point. Like I forget where I was at. It was probably with like Dan and Kyle, like in an open field or something. And I threw whatever disc I threw. And it was like, I feel like I just threw that 100 feet because it looked like it only went 100 feet.
Yeah.
It was still like maybe 390, 400-ish, something like that. But doing that and then just being like, well, that went nowhere. Maybe I'm just doing something wrong. But reminding yourself, like, you're in an open field, no frame of reference at all. So, like, I don't know, walk it out if you have to so you can know, but it should just be form.
Yeah.
Like, this feels good. This feels right. This is what I want. This is what I'm trying to work on, so on and so forth.
And those little sticks, or not those little sticks, but those fiberglass sticks that I got that you like knocked off when you were grabbing the bin last time.
Yeah.
I got those on like for that. So I can go out. All right, this is where I'm going to throw from Bushnell out 350 feet, Bushnell out 400 feet, 400, whatever it's going to be. and then try to use that as a point of reference for like where I'm throwing or what I got going on. But still, like, I like doing field work with you. I like doing it with somebody. You know what I mean? Because it kind of keeps me accountable. It keeps me like on track for what I'm trying to do, and then we're trying to work on something specific, and I have another set of eyes watching me.
Yeah.
Besides that, I like to practice like to a basket. You know what I mean? Like even when I just go to a little shitty park next to my house, like I'm working on up shots or whatever, like touch shots and this and that, and I'll always like take a basket, measure off from it some distance, and then just try to do like a specific shot. But when I was learning how to play, like, yeah, that was the big thing, was like doing that. So with all of those aces, whatever they mean to anybody else, they mean something to me. I don't know, I probably have like 130, something like that, 120 something. I don't know. I have 3 this year that are like legit.
Yeah.
And then last year, I think I only had 2 or 3. And then a couple, like in 2018, I had a few. I don't know. Like I stopped doing that. So now I get like a couple a year.
Yeah. I
Tournament.
don't know. I don't think I have any this year.
Yeah.
I know I lost track of mine. Like I used to be pretty good at keeping it up on the scene or marking it like as I got it and then retiring the disc. Like I for sure only have 1, maybe 2 multiple ace discs.
Yeah.
I know the one is it's hard to say. I mean, it is technically an ace, but also not. Like I think the first ace I got with it was at Firefighters, and then the second ace was at like Rain Tree.
Yeah.
Or something
sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I think it was after the long corner hole when we were going to do our stuff and things there.
Yeah.
It was the one like right after that. It was cool because it was like the hard, just straight shot right at it, not like a hyzer flex or whatever. But after that, like I don't know. I think the last ace that I marked, maybe that was this year. I don't. Hole at Kensington, ace with Lamborghini Mercy.
Yeah.
And I just wrote like 70 something question mark because the one before that was like 68 question mark. Like a lot of them are just gonna have question marks now. Yeah, but I've kept up at least the Rick Vigil signature of GTFIT on every single ace that I witnessed or my own or whatever, because I thought it was great when he wrote that on there. And he had this very drunken way of saying, "Get the fuck in there." That's all that is. Like, it was great. So I kept that alive because I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, I thought like I don't know. I guess like over time when I was doing it, maybe like the second year or third year I was doing it, I'd have the Zulu bag, so that would have like 40 something putters in it. And I remember like going up and getting like 3 of them. You know what I mean? Like, I think I might have I got 4 in a day or 5 in a day once.
That's hilarious.
And then I got 3 in a bag multiple times.
I remember you telling me about that before.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
So the 4 one was nuts. Like the 4 or 5, I don't remember if it was 4 or 5 in a day, but I remember like going up in the morning and I'm like, I'm just going to see how many I can get in one day, and just like running around. And I think I got like 13 twice. Then I got like 8 once. I got 9 once. And then I think I got like hole 2. You know, I was just like running around, like just trying to get them. And I think like it had started to get dark. I had been up there all fucking day. I had probably thrown like 400 shots. And I remember like throwing 9 as it was like getting dark. And I was so fucking tired. And I was just like, I just want to hit one more.
How many throws do you think you had that day?
Oh, easily 350.
Yeah.
Yeah, easily. Because if it was 40, even let's say it's 40 in a bag, I threw at least 9 bags. So that's what, 360?
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably threw over 400 throws.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So my goal was always like to stay over 1%.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I would always go up there and like just try to stay over 1%. And if I got out of there, there's days though. I mean, I'd go up and throw 300 shots and not get one. Chain out, basket, chain. I had one bag. I was on 13, and I hit chains with, it wasn't even the big bag. I think it was like 30 putters, and I hit chains 3 times, and none of them stuck. And I was just like pissed. Like I can remember being up there by myself, like 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. No one else is out there, just like rage-tastic, sweating, like full on, like just like going for it, and just like chain out, whatever. And then being like, as soon as I hit one, I'm gonna leave.
Yeah.
And then just being up there all fucking day and just wanting to go home. and like not getting it.
Yeah.
And then like some of the funniest ones were I would take up specific. So I'd take up 2 bags, one of whatever shot one's going to be that I'm going to work on. So I might take like a whole bunch of buzzes and a whole bunch of wasps in one bag, and then in the second bag take like laseries and whatever the next disc is. So I have like fairway driver bag, mid-range bag, and then throw them. And like once I get a mid-range ace, or once I get the, whatever ace, the fairway driver ace, then I'm going to go and use the other bag. And I can remember like getting the mid-range ace for the day, and then having the fairway driver bag, throwing a fairway driver hole and just not getting it, and then getting tired, and then being like, I'm going to go to a shorter hole, and then just like trying to run something stupid like hole 14.
Yeah.
Like hyzer flips up the gap with fucking fairway drivers, and I'm pissed, and I just want to go home. Like full rips, just like, and then you finally like hit the line, and it like blows up the chains and falls out, and you're like,
Yeah.
But yeah, I did that.
It's just kind of funny too, because it's like, I get where people come from to a degree, where it's like, oh, you're just cubby acing or whatever.
Yeah.
But also it's like, if you have 300 or 400 throws at this course, like how many times are you going to get it? Like being able to hone in your shot and be like, realistically, if you throw the same shot 10 times, there's like we're not robots. It's not the same every time.
Right.
You can think that way, but it's like there's a little more angle, a little less angle, a little more power, less power, this, that, whatever. And it's like to be able to dial that in and to be able to get like that close that many times in a row or whatever is a key thing.
Well, that was the thing that I always bring up to people, because I'm never running around. I'm never like, yeah, I got all these aces and everything. Like I didn't. Like I talked to you about it, and like there's a couple people I talked to it, and then like a few people, like even now, like I ran into a guy at Stony League this year, and he's like, "You're the ace guy from Firefighters," and I was like, "Yeah, I haven't done that in years." He's like, "Yeah, I used to see you up there."
Really?
But his point was like, I always saw you up there, like you were up there every day, and I was like, "Yeah." And I would always say to people, and they're like, "Oh, well, that doesn't really count." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's just something that I keep track of. It has nothing to do with it. The reality is this is just more exciting to me than field work. I'm basically doing field work on a course. I try to go early when no one else is playing. I'm never really the guy that's in people's way. Like, I said, but it's harder than you think, even if you have like, so let's say I give you 10 of the exact same disc. It's valuable to learn the skill of being able to make those micro adjustments. And to be like, okay, that one hit the basket. The next one I'm going to throw 2 inches higher and hit the next one. Like it was a good skill, and it's benefited me in terms of like the consistency of my throws. Like I'm very consistent for the most part. I'm very consistent at those shots, and
yeah, I think you have a pretty good understanding of, at least when you know discs, what it is pretty specifically, what you did well or wrong, or like what it's going to do based off of how you threw it.
Yeah.
Because you can have like a pretty good idea, but like there's times where you'll mess something up and then say like what's going to happen. And then I like kind of doubt it. Like, no, like, wait a minute. And then it like doesn't do what I think and it does what you think, which makes sense because you know the disc and you throw it.
Yeah.
But it's pretty accurate, like pretty fine tuned of.
Yeah. Well, last weekend.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Last weekend or 2 weekends ago or whatever. Like playing at Cass.
Yeah.
Throwing the first round and being like, okay, hit that stump. Second round, I'm in the same spot. We're 3 hours later, 4 hours later. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to throw the same shot, slightly higher, a little bit more juice.
Yeah.
Throwing that shot and being like, yeah, that's it. Like out of my hand. Like that's in. Because I know a little adjustment that I made in my hand, I know what it's going to translate to the disc. And being like, yeah, that's going in. And then boom, it's there.
Right.
And that's like, because I haven't ever had the power, that's always been where I've made my money.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, if we're going to consistently, like, even if you're getting to throw like 150 shots into the basket and I'm throwing 280 foot shots into the basket, I'm still going to put myself in a good position to putt most of the time.
Right.
So I'm not losing that stroke because my upshot's from farther out. Last night I played at Addison, and it was in the dark, and there's a lot on the line, and I had to throw a 300 and something foot upshot where it was like a hyzer flip to fade, and like I hit the pole.
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, like I know this shot, and that's kind of like, I don't know, whatever. It's also been a lot of fun.
Yeah,
And I've
couldn't see the shot.
Yeah,
like
couldn't-
after
couldn't
X
see it.
amount of time, so it was just standing there waiting.
Yeah,
and
threw
then
it. We had a flashlight on it.
ding.
Yeah, I had a
Yeah.
flashlight on it. Like Jake Turner's holding a flashlight. I throw the shot. I was like, all right, that looks pretty good. Then he turns the flashlight off, and then you hear, ping. And I was like, oh, they hit the pole.
Yeah.
Pretty sweet. Cool.
Seems good.
Seems good. So the bin challenge was a hit. We did this as like a run through, and I think it worked beautifully. So our idea next time was to do the bin challenge and then play somewhere very demanding, because you'll pay more penalty for not hitting the shot. Because Star, even your Thrasher shot that wasn't really close to what you were trying to do, like still was
No, that
still
was
a
totally what I
putt.
was trying to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be good.
Yeah, like if you don't know Star is your local pitch and putt type course. It's got more length to it on a lot of the holes,
Yeah.
but a good like 65-70% of the holes are like I have to birdie this, and it doesn't really matter what I'm throwing. I
Right.
should be able to control it enough to get a 250 to 275 foot shot there.
Right. And
yeah,
most of those holes, except for like, if you count both tee pads, probably like 4. Other than 4 of those shots, like you could throw any shot to get up there.
mm-hmm.
Big Annie, flex shot,
Pretty much,
hyzer
yeah.
flip, hyzer. Like there's enough trees there to kind of like determine where you have to go, but there's not enough trees to like control the shot of what you have to do. So
Yeah.
it would be better to it'd be more
Go like Hudson
more
Mills or
challenging.
something.
Right?
Yeah.
Somewhere where like no, you or Willow even like I
Yeah.
said, like
Yeah.
you have to throw this shot.
Yeah,
So
that'd be
then,
cool.
yeah, like having to throw. All right, well, I have to get this line because it's the only option you have, and now I have these discs. Like now, what the fuck? am I
Yeah,
gonna
because
do?
now it's like you have to make micro adjustments, and this is what has to happen. And
Yeah.
if not, then it's like, oh shit,
You're gonna bleed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
But I wanted to ask because I thought aces was actually a good topic since we were talking about it. I don't know, when you were talking about firefight, like my best stretch of acing, which was hilarious and awesome, and like poor timing because I think every single time I aced, it was 13 at firefighters. There's a couple silly ones or whatever, and 2 of them have to deal with Jared, which were great. I aced 13 3 times legitimately, like first throw, whatever, playing through, and it was like before league, after league, and whatever,
yeah,
and it was just comical. But the other 2 times I aced 14 with Jared because Jared was like, here, try this disc. It's like a really awesome whatever. And that was, I have it now. It was an 11-time eagle, like champ, red, whatever. And I throw it sidearm, and he was like, just throw it like your nice Firebird, whatever. Boom, goes in. I was like, sweet. He's like, yeah, nice shot. You're not getting that, though. I was like, but I'm at least signing it.
yeah,
He like took it on tour with him for like the next couple of years or whatever. He came back, ended up seeing him when he came back or whatever. He's like, here, I got this for you. I was like, oh, sweet. Like, really? He's like, yeah, you can just have it. Like, I don't really throw it anymore. It should just be yours, whatever.
Right.
And I was like, all right, sweet. And it goes right into the box that we made however many years ago
Yeah.
now. And then
I forgot about that with the handles.
no handles.
No handles,
No
okay.
handles. The long one.
Yeah.
So I have the one long one, no handles. Then I got the other one
The
that's
double.
2 wide
Yeah,
that
yeah,
has the
okay.
handles. Those are fucking sweet.
Yeah,
And then there was another one. It's a destroyer that I have 1 throw on ever, and it was hole 3 at firefighters. He was like,
Yeah.
"Here, these things are super meaty, yada yada yada." And then I was like, "All right." So I ripped it. I threw it like that Nuke OS, and just like held out right, came back, boom, skipped right in, just started cackling.
yeah,
It's like, sweet, thanks for the destroyer. I was able to get that one first try that time to put it right in the bin.
yeah.
But
I lost a disc like that to Hughes. I already brought that story up on here. I waited
Yeah.
forever. I got that Rogue, Sparkle Rogue. I got it. I threw it like 3 times. Then we were at Edison, and Kevin also loves the Rogue. And he's like, oh, let me try that. And then threw it right the fuck in. And I was like, well, cool, bro.
nice.
Thanks. Here you go. Sweet.
I was gonna ask though, what is? I don't know. There's 2. So like, what do you think is your best ace that you have, and
Yeah.
what's your favorite ace that you have? Do you even have those?
Yeah. Okay. So favorite ace
Mhm.
for sure, hands down, $0. Forehand, Firebird, orange and black, orange with a black stamp, Firebird on hole 18, Stony Blue in the air.
Nice.
Playing with Josh McCool.
Yeah.
one over after 18 at Stony Blue.
Yeah.
And I was like, all I have to do is ace this, and I'll finally shoot under par. I had never shot under 54
Yeah.
Stony Blue longs. Stepped up to the tee pad, forehand off the tee, threw it around the corner, and I was like, it's got a chance. And I was like, shh. We both sat there, and you just heard smash. And I ran up around the corner, and it was totally in the basket.
That's awesome.
And I lost my goddamn mind. I just ran around.
I think you texted me about that.
I probably texted you right
so.
then.
Yeah.
I ran around. I pulled it out of the basket. I was just running around, and I was like,
was this before pants down?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I remember I was just so happy because I had played Stony Blue, but even before there were two courses, like when there was a 27-hole course or whatever it was, I had played it so many times and never got under par on the front on the 18.
Yeah.
And
this is under par like 54.
Yeah.
So
this was for a
everything
53.
Yeah.
And I had like been way up and fallen apart, and I was like killing it, and then this giant storm came in, not the one that we talked about before, but like it had just like always something had happened, and like I just finished 54, 55 so many times. In that round, it wasn't like a fantastic round, but I had like gotten the birdies and whatever it was, and I remember being like I had just birdied I think like 16 and 17 to get to one over. And I remember just being like, all right, all I got to do is ace this.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if I had aced that hole before. But I was like, all I have to do is ace this, and I'll shoot under par.
I remember those Firebirds now, too.
Yeah, I have 3 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were money.
Yeah.
And I bagged a Firebird. I bagged its twin for years.
Yeah.
And then only when I switched to the Discraft bag this year and started throwing Raptors did I take that out of my bag.
Right.
But that, for sure, hands down, one of the happiest moments of my whole disc golf life. Is my favorite. My best, I don't know. I mean, my most valuable is hole 7 during leagues. It was like almost $1,000. So that's like pretty sweet.
They had firefighters?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'd aced that hole so many times.
Yeah.
Like I had stood there with bags and just like thrown it in so many times. I got that with a glow katana at night.
Is
once.
that in the position it's in now or
No,
the old position?
Old 7.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I hit it, cleared out the ace pools. Ace pools built up, and then you hit yellow Casey AVR.
Yeah.
It was the next buildup of ace pool is when you hit it. So I had hit it and cleared it.
Yeah.
Super pool, everything. It was like 900 and some change.
Yep.
Then no one hit an ace, and then the next ace was you with
Yeah.
the yellow Casey AVR for like a little bit more money than what I had gotten. And I was like, this fucking guy. I don't know. My best ace, I don't know. I mean, my longest ace is that bolt shot, to 368. And then I don't know. The one that I called, I think, is a pretty sweet ace at the tournament at Addy, last hole, because I called it literally when we started on the first hole.
Yeah.
I was like, last hole, I'm going to run this and ace it. And smashed it. And it was like 300 and some change for the money. But I'm having a hard time thinking of like...
Wait, Addison or Cass?
Addison.
When was this?
A couple years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What hole was
7.
it? Okay.
We started on 8.
Yeah.
And I had kind of shit the bed first round.
Yeah.
We started on 8. And I was like, well, if this round goes shitty and I'm totally out of it, like I'm 100% going to run the ace on 7 to at least like get the ace pool and get my money. And then it was the same thing. After I finished hole 6, I was 1 over. So I was like, well, if I ace this, I can still finish under par for this round. I'm still totally the fuck out of it.
Yeah.
I was like, and then, like I can get my money. And like, I was like, and then I called it. I was like, yeah, I'm just like, I was talking about that as we were walking over to the bat.
Oh, was it Gator?
No, it's Sparta.
Oh, okay.
Premium Sparta.
Oh, you went up
orange.
the middle?
Yeah.
Nice.
So I said, like, I'm going to hit this ace, take my shirt off, run down the fairway, and lose it. And, like, it was my tee pad. So I literally, like, there was sun on the water, so you couldn't really see the basket very well because it was, like, all the sparkly on the water. And I threw it just straight out of my hand. And right when it left my hand, I was like, that's in. And I started running down the fairway. Bam! Right in center chains, fell in. I took my shirt off, ran down the fairway, and then Ben G was on like the next hole, Benny G, and he was on the next hole. He was like, "Come on, Darren," because it was like us yelling and screaming.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, it's like we're all totally out of it at this point. Like, who cares?
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a good one. But I don't know. I've had like a few specifically wasp aces that there was no luck to it. You know what I mean? Where I was like, I'm gonna throw this angle, I'm gonna throw this shot, and then ace it. And I probably have like. I have a couple league aces like that. I have a couple tournament aces like that. and they were all wasps. So
Mhm.
anywhere 310 feet, 270 feet, something like that. Of like, they're just like
For
nailed
sure,
it.
like 100% knowing,
100% in.
basically.
100% in. This is it. Holes
Yeah.
that I've never played before, like stupid shit. I got one at Fox Creek this year, earlier in the year. I got one at Lakeshore for like a doubles league a few years ago when I didn't really play Lakeshore.
Yeah.
And I went out there and I was like, "Where's the basket?" And then I just threw a big hyzer with the wasp equivalent of that buzz,
Okay.
that like strawberry
Yeah.
colored Eric McCabe TI first round wasp. Yeah, just put that fucker in. And then Ben Calhoun gave me an ace disc that said Ace Pool winner, and it has like a sunset. It's like a super color.
Really?
Yeah, I thought that was cool.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I don't have any that like come to mind that like really did a bunch. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
What about
still.
you?
So one of my favorites is for sure yellow KC AVR.
Yep.
Like money, cool, but again, just like that period of time in my life, just like you need like that upheaval of like dopamine hit or whatever. At least like I needed it at that point in time.
Yeah, and $1,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that too. But like just the combined, like even if it wasn't
Yeah.
$1,000, like
Yeah.
still I think it would have had relatively the same effect on just happiness. But probably one of the best ones, the one that I always go back to, like was playing with Jared. We played a doubles tournament, and it was 2 rounds at Rolling Hills and 2 rounds at Lakeshore. And we shot 11, 11, 11, 7. And the 7 was funny because we didn't hit 11. We would have hit 11 had we not sixed the pond hole or something stupid. Like
Yeah.
Jared chumped it into the water, and he's like, "Yeah, I did that just to like fuck with you or something." And then I threw it in the water, and then we go to the drop zone or whatever it is to get what we got. But it was, so we started at Rolling Hills, and it was hole 14, and I have still have the Firebird still as purple CE Firebird, super nice, like really flippy, like no longer is a Firebird type Firebird.
Yeah.
First round, almost aced it. Like this isn't really like a sidearm flex shot hole, but it kind of sets up cool for it. And Jared was right there. He's like, you know what, fuck it, I'll just send this. And if it goes long, I mean, we're right there. We're putting. First round, miss it by like, you'd have to be up there to see how close it really was. From here, it's like, how didn't it touch fucking anything?
Right.
Like, and then the second round, same exact shot, but just in. So
Yeah.
like he throws the same shot. I throw like chopped up high, pans out as it's coming left, and then just falls right, and then just like nuts it right in the center. And it was just like lost my shit. And it was just super cool because it was like a really cool hole itself. I really like a lot of the layout of that course. And that every time I play that hole, that's just all I think about.
Yeah.
Like I've never thrown the sidearm there like since then, really. Like every time I go there, I throw like a flippier mid-range up the left side, because the smarter thing is like, well, if you hyzer out left, you're still up there, not like you hyzer out and you're way down the hill.
Right.
But yeah, that's probably like one of the coolest ones. Like there's, I don't know how many, like at least a handful of times with Jared of the same thing of how Rick did it. He's like, here, try this and do this. And then Jared does this, here, try this and do this. And it like aces. So it's kind of like similar to your, like, this is just going in, but it's like, I just have people, they give me something to try and then I ace with their discs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. There's like, besides the first ace ever, like that's the only other one where it's just like the
Yeah.
holy shit. I don't know how you reacted on your first ace, but like, again, like heart attack, like everything, like every single adrenaline gland like just opened up, and it's like, oh my God, like I could rip the world apart if I wanted to.
Yeah.
Or something like that type of feeling. Yeah, it's great. I kind of wish that, like, I for sure get like amped up when cool shit happens, but as many times as it happens, like I wish I still had like the fuck yeah or whatever. I had more of it today because like competitiveness and whatever.
Right.
But there's times where it's like, I know I should react differently than what I'm doing. Like I feel like there's the moment of douchery every now and then, like you were talking about, where it's just like, I'm not meaning to do it. It's just like kind of desensitized. Like, oh, you made like an 80-footer with a whatever. And it was more like in the era of like, I would just get mad at shit. So it's like, I threw a bad shot, then another bad shot, and then I make like some awesome putt, and I'm just pissed because I threw
Right.
2 bad shots. And it's just like, of course I make this putt. And
Right.
I just threw 2 terrible shots, and I'm stuck on those things.
You're still in a
Yeah.
net negative.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just like, now it's more so like stoked about that. Like that's exactly what happened at one of the holes in MVP, where it's like bad shot, made a putt, and like yeah, like let's go. Instead of I could have foured it, I could have fived it or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, but
I was just thinking of my most miserable ace ever, for sure.
yeah.
So I took a week off work to move into this house,
Mm-hmm.
and then I got a migraine every day. Like
what?
it's called a cluster headache, so it can happen. I get
Yeah.
migraines. I don't really get migraines very often. At this point, I probably get migraines like maybe a couple times a year, maybe once a year, something like that.
What time is it, real quick? I'm sorry.
2 o'clock. Yep.
Sick. All right.
So whatever, it is what it is, right? They
Mhm.
last for a few hours, whatever it's gonna be. Sometimes they like linger, and then you have like the after effects for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
So I was moving into this house, and I made a bet with the girl that I worked with for a tattoo up to $250, like a real tattoo. She's like, "You're not gonna move in." And I was like, "Yeah, I am. I'm gonna move in this week. I got all my shit ready." Like, it seemed like a dumb bet. She was kind of calling me out on it, whatever. I was like, "Sweet, I
Yeah.
can use a new tattoo." And
For moving into a house.
yeah, first day, because I had this house for a while before I moved into it.
Yeah.
And first day, I got a migraine,
Mm-hmm.
like 4 in the afternoon. I was over here like cleaning stuff up, getting ready, and then I got a migraine. And then it wiped me out for the rest of the day. Next day I woke up, started getting some stuff together, started getting a migraine, got a migraine. And then it happened all week. Like 5 days in a row, I got a migraine. So oxygen helps, right? Like one of the therapies they use if you get cluster headaches, which is when you get like basically a migraine every day or on some kind of like cycle, they just blast you with oxygen, and the oxygen kind of helps your your circulatory system relax, which is what causes migraines. So I was like, oh, I'm going to go outside. I'm going to go outside, and I'm going to like get some fresh air, and like hopefully that'll help my migraine go away. So I took a bag. I don't remember which bag. I think it was the little No Excuses duffel. It's not that little, but like medium-sized No Excuses duffel.
Yeah.
And I think I took like 25 discs, all stable, high-speed drivers. And I was like, I'm going to get an ace. I'm just going to go outside and throw these. And it was like a weird mixture. I have like 2 really stable katanas. I had like a couple gladiators, like whatever, some dumb stable destroyers. And I just went out to firefighters and threw hole 1. And was just trying to get the skip shot ace. Wide as fuck, come out around, skip in between those trees and get the ace. And I was out there and people kept trying to talk to me at that point because I used to go to firefighters all the time. So people were like, hey, Darren, whatever. And I was like, dude, like my eye, like my right eye was like half closed. And like I'm standing there and I was like, yeah, dude, like I'm just out here. I have a really bad migraine and I'm just trying to like work through it. And they're like, well, why are you throwing discs? And I was like, dude, I don't want to explain it.
Yeah.
So standing there like miserable,
Yeah.
just so unhappy and in so much pain and just throwing. And then I remember just like, if I get this, I'm going to leave. And I remember I threw, and I think it was a gladiator, just like came out wide, skipped and went right in.
Nice.
And I was like, good, I'm going home. And I was like so pissed. Like even when it went in, I was like, all right, I'm going home. And I just like walked over there, like grabbed it, like wrote the shit on the disc, loaded up my stuff, got in my car. And like, I remember there was like a few people there and they were like, whoa, you know, like blah, blah.
Yeah.
And cause people would stand there and watch to see if I was going to hit it or not.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, I was just like, yeah, cool. And they were like, oh, like blah, blah. And I just like walked to my fucking car and went home. Went to the Blazer and I was like, I'm going back.
Yeah.
I'm
And they're
back home
probably like,
laying
wait,
down.
where are you going?
Yeah, where are you going?
You
I'm
have so
done.
many more throws to do.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm
Yeah.
done. I'm going home. But that was the most miserable one, for sure. For sure, that was terrible. I was like ready to shoot myself.
That sounds terrible. I used to have headaches all the time. Thankfully, I don't anymore.
Yeah.
And it sucks. It fucking blows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
To the I don't know, just real quick, like the last time I had one, I just remember being so angry that I couldn't pass out, that it was just like I'm just laying here just staring at stuff and just being so miserable. Like I don't think I could have like tried going outside to throw and do that.
But that's where I was at.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I hardly drove there.
Yeah.
Like when I was driving there, I like my right eye's closed and I'm just like in the car, you know, because I'm a psycho and I'm like, I'm going to get there. And whatever. It is what it is.
Yeah.
I had the worst migraine I ever had was that cruise Sunday morning during brunch.
Oh God.
I got there. I had a migraine when I left my house. I'm the only manager there, so I have to go in. Setting up brunch is a shit show because everybody's late and misses work and everything on Sunday morning because everybody drinks so much on Saturday.
Yeah.
I'm there. I'm just trying to get the shift started. I get everything set up. I get everything going. And then Danielle was at the host stand and everything was like pretty set up. Mikey was there and whatever. So I had like some reliable employees.
Yeah.
So I said, I have the worst migraine ever. I'm going to go in the office, shut off all the lights, and sit in the dark. If you need me, come and get me. But I really need to hold it like together. So I texted Beth because she came in at 2. I was like, if you can get here a little early, that'd be great.
Mm-hmm.
And I went and sat in the office in the dark. And I remember like bouncing my right leg just like for some kind of like rhythm or something to kind of like distract my brain. And I was literally sitting there thinking about killing myself. Like it was that bad. And I remember just being like, dude, like this is crazy. If you had to deal with this all the time, like you would kill yourself.
Yeah.
Like there's no, like the only sense of relief that I could think of was like if it was like just shooting yourself in the head.
Yeah.
Like legitimately I was sitting there thinking like if this doesn't go away, like I'm going to kill myself. And Beth showed up at 2:30.
Nice.
Yeah. I remember she came in. I got out of the office at 12:30, walked around, made sure everything was okay, went back in the office, got back out of the office. Sam was working in carryout at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So she came in. She's like, you okay? I was like, I have the worst migraine. She's like, oh, I get migraines and whatever. I was like, dude, I just need you to get the fuck out of here. Right.
Yeah.
And then I went back out for like 1:30 and then we're like getting ready to close brunch down. And then I'm out there at 2:00, like standing at the host stand with like my eye closed, like just managing through the shift. And I'm like, where's Beth? Where's Beth? And then she shows up at 2:30 and she walks out. She's like, hi. And I was like, where the fuck were you? And she's like, oh, I was a little late. I had this going on. And I was like, yeah, but I messaged you this morning, like to come in, like if you could get here a little early. She's like, yeah, I couldn't. I was like, well, obviously.
Yeah.
So whatever. I
couldn't even get here at regular time.
Yeah, I could only get here half an hour late. Yeah. So I got through it, and that was definitely like the worst one I ever had.
Oh my God.
That was like brutal managing the restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can imagine.
I was just hoping like nobody did something really bad or whatever. And during brunch, like you need maximum management because like all the shit they run out of and
oh my God.
whatever. So
I remember, I think it might have been while you were there. It might have been when you moved to the other location. This dude, Derek, like, he was just the guy running plates.
Yeah.
And he had the giant like his arms fully extended, plates up to here. And he takes them off. And I remember, I think it was like Hessler or whoever. Like, you good? He's like, yeah, I got it. And he just turns and shit whips them all to the ground.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Dude, I was standing in what the hell is it called, the server area or whatever.
Yeah.
And I just like turned just to see it happen. And I was like, oh, what are you going to do? Like, it's just going to happen. It's like, I just wonder how loud this is going to be. And then you could just hear people like in the dining room, like, what was that? Like, oh my God.
Yeah. We were always short on plates anyways.
Oh yeah. And he broke a lot of them. Dude, it was great.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Sometimes I miss working there.
Well,
sometimes
but like,
like,
it's entertaining.
yeah. But then you have to remember like the deep, dark dungeon that actually exists when you're there, where it's just like, thank God I don't work there.
Yeah. The lack of like logic in the way that things are done sometimes, and then sewage backing up all the time.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's a real problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was stupid.
Yeah, it was gross. Really gross.
Shout out Cruz.
Get it. What was I going to say? Oh, did you watch? You said that you watched some of the Maine state championships.
Yeah, I watched some of it.
Yeah, what did you watch?
I started out watching Simon's vlog of it, just to see how people were playing or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I watched, I think it was just the front 9 of the second round or something.
Yeah.
Either way, the course looks pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Like there's remnant, even when Simon was saying, it's like, this just looks like a hole from like Finland or whatever. And it does. Like you have the white birch trees and everything. It's lined out like super nice and everything. And it's fair. Like it's basically wide open, but you have a gap of trees or a row of trees out in the distance to clear. If you got a crazy arm, you can go over top. Otherwise, you have like up the gut. I think it was like 460, 470 or something like that. But overall, it was just super sweet. And then he turns in at one point and you could see like the whole area. You could see like 9 baskets or whatever it was. And you could just see the slope of the land. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, it looked beautiful. It made me like next year or maybe like in the next couple of years, I definitely want to get out to like New England area and go like, the Northeast and like really get up there and play a lot of those courses because they have beautiful trees. They got a lot of elevation change, and they all seem to be pretty well maintained. Like they all set up they all seem like they're set up pretty well. Again, it's not just giant courses, but they seem like you have enough trees, you have enough elevation to make nice courses, and they put together some nice courses, and it was interesting watching it play. It was also interesting watching it play like with the people that were there.
Yeah.
Because it's like the silver series, so you don't have like all the top dudes. So you have like a random assortment of people there and watching them play or whatever. So we were joking around, and I thought like you have the one Discraft guy who just has like the Amish beard
Yeah.
playing, and it just made me think of Dave Attell doing stand up because he like goes off and he's like, "Oh, Jebediah," and he's like, "Give me the Amish shit and whatever." And I was just like dying as I was watching that. And then like you had Mac from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia out for like the next 2 rounds. And that guy put together a couple solid rounds.
Yeah.
And yeah, like the whole time I was kind of like just distracted with my own backstories of these people, and it was great.
Like virtual house with yourself with people that you're given. Like
Oh, it's just like, what's the guy's name? Josh Seeley, playing for Prodigy. And I was like,
Yeah.
well, I'm glad they gave him the weekend off of having to deliver pizzas so he could come out here and like, play a Silver Series and do really well.
yeah.
And there's just like my brain then just makes up, like even when we're out and about, like I always have like just shit jump into my head of like, what these people's lives are like.
Oh, for sure.
And it was cool, but I loved Garrett's fucking Sunday outfit. So good.
I don't think I saw it.
Oh,
What
so
was-
it's short sleeve top, warm up pants, camo with orange like an orange stripe down the side, and then 3 orange stripes here for Adidas, matching. Like
Nice.
it almost looked like he was in a jumpsuit.
That's awesome.
It was so fucking cool. And he's just kind of like, he's like a stockier guy.
Yeah.
So it was so cool. I think the second round he was wearing like, I don't even know, like sweatpants. But I think he had them like tucked into his socks, but then they were like bloused over. Like,
Oh, Nico style.
So, but you couldn't see it tucked into the sock. It just
Yeah.
looked like they were like a little bit short.
Like chaps or something, or not? What are they?
Capris.
Knickers.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
knickers. Yeah,
Yeah.
like something like that. But it went over, and I was just like, what is he wearing? And like the guy with the Amish beard, I'm thinking like, you knew you were going to be on coverage today, right? Like this is what you were doing?
Yeah.
Grady. Yeah, Grady. And I was just thinking, I was just like, man, like it's awesome. But like the guy that showed up like full fedora, ready to rock, he played really well. And I was
Nice.
like, I'm glad that he played really well.
Yeah.
Because if
Seriously.
you came out in the fedora, all the like setup and whatever, and then you just totally fell apart under the pressure of coverage, like the internet is unforgiving.
Oh man,
you
the
know?
internet. It's always there.
It's always there.
It's always there.
Yeah. So no, I enjoyed watching it though. It looked like a nice course, and then I haven't seen Garrett on coverage in a bit, and you just lose track of like those things that he does.
Yeah.
Like his ability to throw far, but also like high. And we talked about before,
Yeah.
like how much spin he gets on the disc, and that it's just like it just keeps moving and staying in the air because it's just spinning so fast. You know?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he was bombing it out.
Yeah. It's hilarious.
Yeah. It's a whip. Like
hilarious.
just like this arm and this.
Yeah. It's like the few times where it's like when you tell people, like if they mimicked Girthy, you'd be like, no. And then you can't just be like,
No.
no. He's like, what do you mean no?
What do you mean? No, watch this.
Yeah.
Hold
Look
my-
at me go.
Hold my camo.
Yeah.
I
And
got
it's
this.
just it's always funny too that he can throw like 500 left-handed as well.
Can he?
Yes. He threw over like at the distance competition USDGC over the water. They have like either the heart or the X's or whatever
Yeah.
as the targets. I don't remember what year. Maybe like 2011 ish, something like that. He was like the first person I think it was to throw opposite handed over the pond.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hope he doesn't show up to the triple threat. I really want that 4 consecutive wins. Wouldn't have a chance.
Yeah. It's funny how much of the same it is his left hand as it is like his right.
Yeah.
Like he could probably just go out and just do whatever. I'm kind of surprised sometimes he doesn't throw it on like some certain holes where it's like maybe it just sets up better for like because his sidearm is real dicey. Like
It's very elegant.
sure.
No, when he throws, I'm always amazed because like it's such a like power throw. His backhand is like such a power throw,
Yeah.
but his forehand he like dances.
Yeah.
He does this like he like kind of like
Yeah.
comes forward and like
Achoo.
yeah, like he kind of like dances off the pad those he throws. I was thinking, I was like, oh, that's so elegant. Like,
Yeah.
look at you.
Yeah. As to where I would just be like, why not just throw left-handed
Yeah,
backhand or something? I don't know.
I don't know.
I haven't seen him do it in a minute,
Yeah,
but I don't know.
yeah, he's got good touch too. I always lose. That's what like I lose track of with him. Is he's got good touch getting up to the basket.
Mhm.
Like even a complicated shot and whatever. Like
yeah. Like some of the shots he can throw in the woods are
Yeah.
like bonkers.
you just don't think you're gonna see it.
Yeah.
And then it like lands softly up by the basket, and you're like, well, it's cool to have like a gun and touch. You know? Yeah. So this year, I just saw on Facebook yesterday, and I don't know, I haven't done any research on it, but I was like reading through this thing. That it's gonna be $20 for live stream for USDGC.
Yeah, I heard about it. We were
Okay.
talking about it at the putting
Okay.
league on Discord.
So
the
what
other
do you
night or
know
whatever.
about it?
That's all I know, really, is that they're charging $20 or whatever to get this viewership. But also, it's going to be, was it 2 weeks after it all happens, or what? That coverage will be out, so you'll already know who the winner of like 2 tournaments prior to that is. So I know that personally, or not personally, but to others, at least in that group of people, they didn't like it. Like, they thought it was a lot of money, and also it's like an exuberant amount of time afterwards, because we're already going to know, because all the coverage is YouTube. It's Jomez, Gatekeeper, whatever, and it's like the next day or two that it's just
Right.
pumped out. So the tournaments that are following are going to be out, and then that's going to be 3 tournaments behind that it's going to be not obsolete or like old information, but it's essentially old information that's new because it just got released or whatever. So like, I remember we talked before about paying for coverage and all that, and I think personally I would pay, like, even if it was like $5 or $10, but you're getting like something and it's being put towards whatever. Like, I think of it similarly as I go to Stony and I pay you money to be able to play this course that you guys take care of, hence why it's a pay-to-play course.
Right.
But then the gears get quickly worn down when it's like, I'm giving you money, and then that money clearly is going everywhere else but here.
Right.
And it's like, well, you're cutting grass there. Why can't you cut grass here? And then it's like some bullshit
Baby deer.
excuse or whatever. Yeah, whatever it is. And then it's just like, well, if you just cut the grass, like, then there's no risk. Anyways, very similar. Like, I'm cool with giving you money to, I think it would help grow the sport, create some sort of like additional income that really it's like $5 out of my pocket to still go towards something. You get 100 people to do that.
Right.
There's more than 100 people in the community that I think would be willing to pay $5 for that. I think they might be kind of getting greedy with $20 for it, because you're kind of dabbling into the UFC fights or whatever, like premieres and whatever, that raise all this crazy money. Maybe at some point, sure, for disc golf. I don't know if it's the right direction move, too much in cost or something.
Yeah.
I know I'm not going to pay $20. I'll just wait.
Yeah.
But if it were $5 or $10, I'd be more inclined to do it.
Yeah, I just wonder because it's so the USDGC starts on Thursday.
Not this coming Thursday, but for the tournament, I believe it starts Thursday and goes through Sunday.
Right.
I think it's four
rounds. Thursday,
Yeah.
Friday, Saturday,
Yeah.
Sunday. So the issue then is like your audience, because if you have it live stream Thursday, a lot of people are at work,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So like you have work on Thursday, work on Friday, and then if you're going to spend your Saturday 6 hours or whatever it is live streaming, and then Sunday 6 hours live streaming, like it's a weird package that you're going to devote the time to. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I was looking at it and I was thinking about it, like, well, what do I think? What are my thoughts on it? Whatever. And the reality is like, it's one of my putters.
Yeah.
You know, like for the cost of one of my putters, I can watch the USTGC live stream for 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of the idea that a lot of people are putting up on Facebook of like, we'll have like a watch party. You know what I mean? Get like a couple of your buddies and like get together and watch the USTGC. I was thinking like, yeah, one of the things with like other sporting events for the most part is it's like, we're going to get together on Saturday night. So if I'm going to watch UFC, like this Saturday is going to be a sweet UFC.
Yeah.
But if you're going to get together and it's $70, dude, I can get 10 people over my house.
Yeah.
We all chip in $8 and then we have money for pizza,
Right.
whatever. And we all sit down for 4 hours, knock out a Saturday night, get the fights, get all hyped up, and then play some beer pong or something or whatever it's going to be.
And then with this,
Cool.
doing the same thing is like a mini vacation.
Yeah, but
whatever. Like
yeah, like I don't know if I like you. You know, there might be 2 other people, but who do I want to spend that much time with?
yeah.
You know what I mean? And then like, we're just gonna have like sweaty dudes over my house for 4 days in a row for 6 hours at a get.
Yeah.
It's like almost a work week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Right. It's a lot.
I don't know. So I guess like, are there people streaming it at work? You know, I don't know. Like the idea.
I guarantee people are going to
I
stream
know,
it
I
at
was
work for sure.
joking.
Yeah.
But I just think of like, it's a little bit different than other sporting events just by the time put in. I can also appreciate the fact like do you pay to go watch the USDGC? Like if there's no
Like live.
well, I guess you can't. I guess the big thing is like you're not going to have the consumer aspect of the USDGC because there's not going to be all those people there, captive audience to buy discs.
Yeah, because I'm not sure how they're going to do it there. I know at MVP, you could be a spectator, but you were paying to become a volunteer, which was basically a scorekeeper. And
Yeah.
that was your in on doing something like that. And everybody, like, shout out to those guys for sure, because it makes it way easier to just manage the round. And as long as you got them doing like the official scoring and you just like keep up with it, it's this weird thing where nobody has to worry about keeping score. Personally, like I've learned to just not really care about doing it. I legitimately don't. It doesn't affect me. It probably would help me more if I paid attention to my score more.
Yeah.
To really help me hone in like, all right, I just did this on this hole. I need to do and execute this on this hole versus like I'm just kind of like going hole by hole. But having that is super nice for sure. I don't know how, like I said, I don't know how they're going to do it at USDGC, but it's probably going to be something similar, I would imagine.
Yeah, I don't know because I would just think like normally USDGC, you didn't get a lot of people there. So then like Innova has like a giant captive audience to sell a bunch of shit to.
Right.
Limited edition, whatever it is. So they probably make a lot of money on sales. So now not having that audience, they're not going to make up that money in sales. So that could be a reason why then they came out with this package of this is how they're going to do it to make this money on the coverage. I agree with the fact if like people are going to go out there and film and do all this and do all that stuff, like they should get paid.
Mm-hmm.
And if they figured out the numbers in the books and that's what they think is the smartest way to make sure the people actually doing the work get paid, like then it is what it is.
Yeah.
Like it costs money to do it. You know, there's other ways to do it, but whatever. So I would think on my end, brainstorming right now, like Patreon, right? So you have a thing of like you pay what you think. There's like some minimum, but like you pay what you think it's worth.
Yeah.
Right? Like you can contribute what it is that you think.
Mm-hmm.
So for that, it might be a situation of like, we need $10,000 for the live coverage.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as we get $10,000 for the live coverage, we'll just release the live coverage.
Yeah.
Right. So then if somebody wanted to be like, all right, well, I'm going to contribute $100
Mm-hmm.
and somebody has $8
Right.
and somebody has whatever, you're going into it knowing that you're contributing what you think it's worth and what you think is fair.
Mm-hmm.
And that it could get to a point that like, then everybody gets it.
Yeah.
And I think that would be sweet. That would be a cool idea of like in their head, they put a pencil to it and they're thinking like, all right, we really need this much money from the live coverage in order for it to make sense.
Mm-hmm.
And once you get that money, then it's open game. So then you know on Thursday before it starts, like they got $6,000.
Mm-hmm.
They're $4,000 away. The odds of this free stream coming through are probably slim.
Yeah.
So I'm going to kick in my $10.
Yep.
And whatever it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And do it that way because I think that you'd be more likely to get to the grand total you want to get to, allowing people to have more kind of leeway in what they contribute than $20 a person.
Yeah. Because I still think like if the 10,000 got hit, you're still going to have people here. Thanks.
Yeah.
Like
I'm
totally.
In. Right.
Yeah.
I'm in. Right.
Yeah. And even if it was an extra 1,000 people and they only do 2,000, that's $2 extra $1,000. Like you got 12 grand instead of 10 now.
Right.
And even then, like the likelihood of that, of it only just being $2 each seems low.
Yeah.
Like you're still going to get people who are going to give extra because more disposable income or whatever it is. And for sure, the guys who is like, I want to donate something, but I'm just going to do the minimum because whatever.
Right.
So,
but I think that I think you'd have a more, I mean, I don't know because I don't run a streaming business, but I would just think like your likelihood of hitting the number that you want to hit would be greater that way. As opposed to like, because you have plenty of people that are just like, well, for $20, I'll just wait. But for $10, I would do it.
Yeah.
How many of those people are there and how many people aren't? You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
So
because everybody, like we had, I don't know, it's weird. Like we had 56 people signed up for this event. 20 people showed up. But out of 20 people, every person that I talked to was all in the same boat of just, I'll just wait. And like same, like before when I was talking, I didn't realize that it was a pay to play or pay to watch until that night. And myself, again, like I said, I'm not going to pay. I'm just going to wait.
Yeah.
I can wait. I'm okay with that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know. I just thought that was interesting the way that they did it. And then it's not Jomez. And it's not it's not, Central Coast. It's none of those. Like they
Who
have
is it?
I don't know.
I don't
it's
think they
another
released it.
setup. And then I don't know who the commentators are. And that was a lot of the conversation.
Yeah.
Of like, am I going to pay? And I don't know because I don't watch the live streams.
Yeah.
I just don't. I'm not into like 6 hours of sitting there. Like mine is the 36 minutes at a time.
It'd be different if it was more like golf where it's like they're walking to their shot. Let's go see somebody else do some shit.
Yes.
Versus this where it's like, here's them walking to the shot. And then you got people who are like, I know this is still relatively new, X amount of years into doing live stream, but it's like you have some people that are gifted at being able to talk and just say things, and it makes sense. And there's some sort of at least like nonchalantness to it. And then you have other people where it's like, it's a task and it's hard, and it makes it even harder for people to watch it and be involved with it. And it's just weird. Like I like Nate Doss and Val as people. Yeah. Watching them as commentators drives me nuts.
Yeah, that was a lot of the comments.
Yeah, like I know it used to be bad before. Like it's definitely gotten better. I think everything's going in the right direction, but still like now it's like things just got to get a little bit better or like get better people. I don't know.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah, even if you just had like 2 cards and then you had someone there like live editing, like bouncing back between the cameras between the 2 holes. So that way when these people are walking, these people are.
Yeah.
Or maybe then you save that shot, and then when they're walking, like, 2 minutes ago on hole 3, this happened, and then they play that footage and like had that kind of a production setup. If that was a production setup, guaranteed people would be like $20, no problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, because at least you're watching 8 people play.
Right.
And you got some kind of bounce back and forth in between where like watching people walk and someone like awkwardly filling space with words.
Which is where my I won't pay $20 falls into it, where it's like I don't, for exactly what we just talked about, is why I don't want to pay $20 for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, if you could move to, I think that one of 2 things. Either one, you have like a dollar amount that then once they hit it, like the live stream's going to be free, or 2, you have like a 2-hole product that's being edited and all that stuff like live.
I wonder, I don't recall seeing a lot of surveys being put out by whoever would be putting it out. So if like Disc Golf Pro Tour is putting out, hey, we're going to do this.
Yeah.
And for this much money, this is what we can provide. Because I know like there's that weird thing, like we're just 2 guys sitting in a basement talking about this, and they randomly hear it and they're like, well, we have no idea, like, or they have no idea what we're really doing. So we come off as exactly. We're speculating and giving our opinions on it. But maybe if there was more information out there, or like surveys of like, what do you want as a community? What would you be willing to pay for if we could provide this? If you want this, this is the money that we need. And then more so going into it what you're going to get. Because if it's like, look, here's what I know what our production is the last couple times, and we know that it's not ideal in this and that, but if it's $20 a person, you're not going to get that same thing. We can provide more, and here's what that more is.
Yes.
Then you'll probably get, I'm down, like, then you can't falter on that, though. That's like the big thing, too. So if you like fuck it up, then it's like, well, now I'm really not going to pay $20 the next time.
Yeah, and you have 2 options, right? The way that I look at it, you have 2 options. So you have what exists. We're not using that as an option. I'm talking about options to increase what you actually have going on.
Yeah.
So you have option 1, which would be 2 cards worth of coverage that then has some kind of editing with it, that like they're playing the shots from the secondary card while the first card is walking.
Right.
They're capturing them, they're cutting them into clips, and then they're putting them in while the walking and the standing and the doing all that stuff is going on. That, I think, would be the best option. And you would take me, who is a non-live stream watcher, who has almost no interest in watching live stream, I would watch that for sure. Yeah. And I would pay money to watch that, because then like my 6 hours or whatever it is that I'm getting for that day or the tournament or whatever it is, like it's entertaining. Because I'm at least watching like the 2 cards, and if it's 2 feature cards for the first day, okay, you're not really sure what you're going to get. But the next day, like I'm watching chase and lead card. So I'm watching 8 people that I want to watch or that have done really well kind of play out this round, and I'm watching it live, and that's awesome. That I think would be your best option. Cost is obviously going to go up, because while you have the live and you have one guy editing it. Then when you add a secondary camera crew, and then the amount of editing and everything that needs to take place is probably much more.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if you're paying $5 for Disc Golf Pro Tour to be able to watch your tournament live stream, would you pay $15 if it was both cards? I think most people that are paying $5 would, because it would be much better.
I think so.
But even a secondary one where you just have a crew, tee pad, and basket on one hole, the most aceable hole,
Yeah.
right? Or whatever it is. So you can at least cut to that.
Yeah. They actually had that. I totally forgot until you said that. They had a guy doing that on hole 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they played that
Yeah.
during like the post production.
Yeah.
Right. Then they'd be like, here's a bunch of shit from hole 8.
Yeah.
And then they had like all the fucking like
Yeah.
runs and out of boundses and all that stuff from hole 8. And it was like, wow, okay, cool. So even if you had that, like, here they are. All right, now they're going to walk. Here's the card that's on hole 8 right now. And you get to watch those guys throw. And then they're back to this hole and they're playing out this hole. And then here's the people that just played hole 8. Right. And you at least have like that secondary thing to go to. So then your camera crew is literally 2 fixed folks.
Yeah.
And you have one guy there like editing that in the clips or whatever to send it out. Like that would be something better than the one crew following around the one group and whatever it is. And I think like looking at that, like, I don't know, I don't do any of it, like the expense, the setup and all that, like what that would look like. But I think like then you're getting more into where people be like, yeah, pay $20 for that. But just having like the one crew follow them around and then commentators that people aren't super pumped up about. I don't know, because I've never watched live stream, so I don't have an opinion. But like, you don't have the solidest commentary, and then there's a lot of downtime.
Yeah.
Like, I think the live stream commentary is way more difficult than post production
Yeah.
because you get a lot more dead time to fill.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Like just trying to, what are we talking about? Oh, I don't know. Just start saying things.
Yeah. Burgers.
Yeah.
What was that?
I love cheese on them.
Gravy.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. So I don't know, but I'm interested to see like how that goes, you know.
Yeah.
And
Maybe for some homework, we delve into it to see what's really going on and then revisit next Monday maybe. So we can form better opinions on it.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Because I know that there's plenty of I know there's not a lot of like live stream groups. You know what I mean, in terms of like companies set up to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Jomez, Central Coast, all those guys, like they're doing post-production work. They're out, they're collecting all the video, and then they're putting it together into a nice, neat 36-minute package.
Yeah.
For 9 holes.
Yeah.
And
They've also, they were, I forget what they started with, but like right now they have like tens of thousands of dollars invested in just like camera equipment.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Like the slow-mo camera that Jonathan uses himself is not cheap by any means. Yeah. So like sweet on that. I remember watching the first video I watched of Jomez was him doing a review on the Gator stick. I don't know if you've seen it or not, but yeah, that was he's not any better in front of a camera now than he was then. It's hilarious. But yeah, it's just a review on the Gator stick, and he grabs a tree out of a disc out of a tree, a disc out of the water, and whatever. And he's like, "This thing's fucking awesome," yada yada, and that was it. And then it like turned into like what it is now. Yeah, it's pretty great.
Yeah, but I mean, like Pro Tour, I know that it's hard for them to like make a profit and all this stuff. And this year is obviously a terrible year for it because of COVID. Yeah. So you have that like hit, and like I just want it to stay alive. Like we talked about before, like I just want the Pro Tour to stay alive. And I want it to stay viable, and I want it to make money, and I want it to be something that like more people tune into, that then like can grow more sponsors and get more people, you know what I mean, like investing in disc golf and raise the purses and get more people to watch and just kind of play out a cycle of it becoming like a bigger money maker that then brings in more viewership and then brings in more sponsorship dollars and like kind of like grows that way. But moving forward, I would think in terms of like a live coverage package or practice for the company, the tour itself, like move towards some kind of like 2-card live stream setup. And I don't know if that's just bringing in other companies and giving them the chance to do it instead of doing something yourself, like whatever it was when Dodge was like, we're no Jomez and no that, and then you had that Glorious Bastards overdub. Still one of the funniest things I've ever seen. That's great. But yeah, like I don't know. I think that we've beat this to death, but it'll be interesting to see how it plays out and then what the review is on the $20 package. Yeah. $20 is not a lot. $20 isn't something that people would be willing to give up for entertainment, but the entertainment that you're giving it up for isn't that good.
Yeah.
I mean, like, in my opinion, and it's the difference between watching like a really good product 2 weeks later to actually get to see the round and enjoy it during a time of your day of your choice, or the live stream during the whole day. That's a lot of walking and whatever.
Yeah. And if you as a people are watching this, and also special inclusion of Rob, because Rob has good opinions on things like this to analyze and delve into it or whatever, would you do this? Like, would you pay? What are your thoughts, feelings, opinions, whatever?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. That's that. Yes.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Nice.
Makes total sense. So,
yeah.
So realistically,
name of this podcast. Yeah. Yes.
Makes sense.
Nice.
Good on you. So one thing that I wanted to do, and maybe it'll be the next challenge that we do, is we found that park over by the high school.
Yeah.
And it's got like a whole bunch of trees and all that.
Yes.
So figure out a setup. And I was saying like forehand and like just all approach shots. Like set up some kind of course out there, do that, and do like a forehand and upshot kind of 18.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that'd be fun. Put Peter Weber on the line. Yeah.
I'm down.
Yeah.
I think I thought about it a little bit, and I was thinking maybe more of I don't know if it would be skins match ish or point system for landing within X distance from wherever or what. Because playing like similarly to Discmania's Combine, like their scouting system that I don't know, like I don't think any other company does it. It'd be cool, or it would make sense for other companies to do it because scouting or whatever. Either way, the way they set up the Combine, one of them was just an accuracy test. It was distance and accuracy, X, Y, and Z. So the closer you were, the better, obviously. I forget exactly how they had it ruled for distances equals X amount of points, but that's kind of like where I was thinking it could possibly go. I'm not sure, but I'd love to do it.
Yeah,
like whatever it is, it'd be a good time. For sure.
I think that would be sweet. You could do, like chain hit basket. So just do basket or higher hit, and basket and below hit would be like different points, and then in circle 1, in circle 2, and then go fuck yourself. I mean, I don't know, because we're not gonna be throwing huge shots. So if you land 70 feet out, you don't get anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it's not accurate enough.
Yeah. We both had 2 sweet early tree hits today.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, mine was the first throw of the day between both of us.
Mine was later. Dead on nailed it.
But that was sweet, though, because you got up there with just the putter from basically the tee pad.
Yeah.
After throwing, what'd you throw to the tree? Slatey.
Yeah, I tried to put Slatey out on a big flex. And so with my back,
tree got in the way.
Yeah,
the shot was perfect.
With my back being tight, when I go to pull, I just like instantly like try to protect it. So I'd like kind of pull my body in. It happened to me yesterday when I was throwing, but today like it was kind of the same thing. And I'd like pull it in tight to protect it, and then I was really trying to give it a go and just jack that.
How's your
tree.
back right now?
It's a little tight.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a psoas on my left side.
Gotcha.
So if you don't know the psoas, you have your back muscles on the outside, and then actually connecting to your spine and going down to the inside of your femur is a muscle called the psoas. And I think it goes along like 7 vertebrae, and it kind of like actually weaves into your spine and then goes out to your femurs. So when you have like lower back soreness, but it feels like real like inside your body, it's your psoas. It's like the muscle that can fuck you up the most that you don't know anything about. Yeah. The issue is once it gets tight, it's just really hard to stretch. Yeah. And all it does is it like locks up your lower back because that muscle gets tight. So for me right now on the left side, like that whole muscle is just kind of like locked up. So my spine movement, both twisting and front and back, not so much back, but more frontward, is just like kind of locked up. So I spent some time yesterday trying to stretch it out. It's just a hard muscle to get it to like let go. Yeah. So I don't think that there's any injury. I think it's a combination of like, I didn't play traditional golf. I played one time in the last year, and then I played twice when I was up north, and then coming home and working on forehands.
Yep.
So I think just using my body.
And now going to golf tomorrow.
Well, that's the thing. I got to figure out how I'm going to get it to let go by tomorrow.
Yeah.
So using my body in this direction and then really trying to like get some juice into it, I think I just aggravated it, and then it just kind of tightened up. So
Gotcha.
it'll be fine. But like when we lift and when I do like specific stuff, it's kind of tight. But for lifting, it doesn't really bother me because the whole time I'm lifting, I'm just trying to keep that lower back pretty solid anyways. Like I always tell you, like keep an arch in your lower back, keep it straight, and like really like you tighten those muscles around it to support it. So when we're lifting, as long as I'm not doing side to side stuff, which we're not when we're lifting, it doesn't really bother me. The worst is getting in and out of the car.
I could tell.
Yeah, that's like well, it's like the worst thing
Yeah.
because like I have to kind of like get the one hip up and then the other hip up, and I'm turning as I'm getting into the car, and it's like all of the things that bother.
Maybe that's
it.
your stretch is getting into your car
I don't know.
and then just like holding the get into your car position.
So I did it last night. I actually got on the floor while Gabby and I were watching our show, Real Housewives of New York Reunion Part 3.
Actually?
Yeah, dude.
Really?
Oh, come on. I'm deeply involved in the Real
Oh,
Housewives
man.
lifestyle. So anyways, so I was on the floor, like just grinding into it, just like absolutely getting into it. And yeah, just like I can normally put my legs over my head, like lay on my back and put my legs over my head, and I can almost put my knees to the ground next to my head fairly easily. Dude, just trying to get my legs up because my back's so like locked up at the bottom was like almost impossible. And I let out a terrible old man noise when I finally got up. It was like, ugh! And I got into place, and then I was trying to like work it, and like there wasn't too much I could do. And then it was funny because the way that I actually learned about the psoas muscle was David Goggins.
Uh-huh.
So David Goggins didn't know about the psoas muscle, and he's one to just like ignore pain. Like it'll be fine, right?
Yeah.
That's why his feet look the way they do, and everything else.
Those
but
aren't even feet.
Yeah, his flippers. So, anyways, he kept going, and then his psoas actually had gotten so tight that like it was like debilitating. So,
Really?
Yeah. So it took him a really long time. So at this point, he basically does like 2 hours of stretching every day to
Yeah.
make sure that that never happens again.
Yeah.
And like some of the stuff that we do that like crouch down and over is to work your psoas and to stretch your psoas. And like some of the other stuff we do is to kind of like keep mindful of it. Well, we took the 2 weeks off. So all the work that I do to like keep my psoas loose, we didn't do. Because I didn't do any of those exercises during that time. Swan stretch, all that stuff helps out. I didn't do any of that. And then really pulling into it, I think I just kind of got it.
Whoa.
It's like, hey, we're not happy. Fuck. So the biggest issue with it is it just takes it a while, especially because like I can't really take anything for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I can't take being sober. Like I can't take muscle relaxers. Like it would help if I could like, this isn't safe and I don't recommend it to anybody, but if I could take like 800 milligrams of ibuprofen and then have like 3 beers and stretch out,
Yeah.
right, that would act as like a muscle relaxer and
Yeah.
allow me to like actually get in and stretch it, where like my CBD oil in the morning and like a couple of ibuprofen, even
Yeah.
like a handful of ibuprofen, it just doesn't do enough to like actually
What
help it
about like the
relax.
CBD creams?
So
have you tried?
I've been doing it. That's why I wore
Okay.
that's why I wore this medium today,
Oh.
because I actually did the CBD kind of balm on my back and then the tighter shirt to hold it to it.
Gotcha.
So it's like why I was able to do it today.
Gotcha.
Because if I like got up out of bed and went out there, like I wouldn't have even been able to play.
Yeah.
Because the turning. Like,
Yeah, I
it's
was
just-
wondering like what was gonna happen. Is he like good enough to do this?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Well, I'm not. You know, you got to
Yeah.
play through adversity.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna like not do it.
Yeah, because you were like, no, and you're like, sweet, free Taco Bell whenever.
I got this, bitch.
Help myself.
Yeah. Well, you gotta take advantage. You know, like if it was me and you were hurt, I would definitely try as hard as I could to beat you and just like run it. And I didn't lose because my back was tight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I was unable to make the adjustments of like how my body was performing.
Mhm.
Like I never once made the adjustment on how that turn was flying
Mhm.
ever. I just kept throwing the straight to hyzer with it instead of like making some adjustment either with my arm, the snap,
Yeah.
angle, nothing. Like it's very difficult like while I'm throwing and I'm thinking like I hope this doesn't hurt to like then actively make an adjustment on how I'm throwing, and that was my problem. My
Yeah.
problem was just not making the adjustment.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we'll see how golf goes tomorrow. I'm also playing with Sydney's dad,
Nice.
who's a member at the country club that we're playing at, and obviously a
Nice.
really serious golfer.
Yeah.
So I don't want to go out, and I'm not like bunch of excuses.
Is he good? Do you know?
I would imagine.
Does he scratch?
People like so the country club I'm willing to bet is like tens of thousands of dollars a year to belong to. So part of it's like a business thing where you're there and you're interacting with other people that have tens of thousands of dollars to
Networking
pay a
and
membership.
shit, yeah.
Networking, but also like golf.
Yeah.
So you're like we're talking about paying $20 to watch
Yeah.
USDGC coverage. Like you're not paying tens of thousands of dollars to belong to a club, so you don't go there and golf all the time.
Yeah.
So I'm willing to bet that he's a pretty good golfer. So yeah, workout. I'm just gonna try to like exhaust my body, and then which is probably dumb, but whatever. I'm just gonna try to exhaust it, and then in its weakened state of exhaustion, I'm gonna try to just really flex a stretch on it.
Oh, it looks like you're giving up.
See,
yeah. That's what
Yeah.
we're gonna take advantage of that.
Yeah. Keep up your crying. We'll see. We'll see what happens. You'll eventually give up. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think like after we're done working out, like I'll be able to get like a good stretch in on it, and then take a
Nice.
hot shower, lay on the back roller. The weird thing is the back roller doesn't help
Yeah.
because it's not really muscles on your back that it can access. Because it's like behind your back muscles. It's like inside of your back muscles.
Right.
So like when you were hitting me with a gun, it just vibrated enough to like get it to relax.
Gotcha.
But that only lasted for like a little bit. And then after that, it was like, oh yeah, we're pissed off. We forgot.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever. It'll be what it's going to be.
Look over here.
Hey, look over here. It's like biting my ankle. So yeah, but golf on Saturday would be good. And then after that, I don't have shit till we work on a Monday. So even if I have to take it easy, I don't have any plans for tomorrow. So after our workout, I'm obviously going to try to stretch really hard, take a shower, and then depending on how I'm feeling after that shower, I might even do a little bit more exercise specific to it to try to tire it out and stretch it out some more.
Nice.
Because I don't really have an option. Like
Yeah.
I have to golf tomorrow at 2 or 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
18.
It's happening.
I think we're only playing 9 holes though, because the
Okay.
girls are going and they don't golf.
Yeah.
Like they kind of. Sydney golfs sometimes.
Sure.
Gabby's never actually been golfing.
Oh, really?
So tomorrow will be the first time ever.
Ooh.
Yeah, she went out and got a whole outfit.
Nice.
Shoes included. She looks
Nice.
super cute. I was so excited. Like I
bet.
was like, oh my god,
Yeah.
a whole golf outfit. It was
Yeah.
like reality. Like
They're
we're really
so
going
adorable.
golfing. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking on the scene for some tournaments. There's like nothing this weekend at all.
No, and then the stuff coming up is all booked.
Yeah.
Like I was looking and I was like, well, maybe I'll go play, another one at Indy because there's that one. And it's like, oh, I think that one's full, and like all these different things. I was like, I think they're all pretty full.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna play Stony Open. I got to put together the paragraph to send to Bauman for my sponsorship, and then
Mhm.
send him the money to sponsor the tournament. I got to do that today. That
Yeah.
I'm gonna do right after I'm done stretching.
Okay.
And then get that loaded up on the scene, register for the tournament myself, and
Are you ever going to give me your email so I can give you your
yeah,
little logo thing?
yeah. Well, that's part of that.
Yeah.
That's part of it.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll give you
Sweet.
my email, and then you can send that to me, and then I'll send a whole thing together for Bauman.
Nice.
Yeah, and then so I'm probably like at this point, unless I can find something else to sign up for, I'm probably just gonna play Stony Open and Triple Threat,
Mm-hmm.
and that'll be like the end of my season,
Yeah.
which is fine. 'cause
Yeah.
I'm-
And then I need to figure out when I'm leaving for Jonesboro.
Yeah.
Because it's
Next
next
week.
weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So Phil's in Nashville for Music City Open or
Yeah.
whatever the fuck it is he's
Yep.
playing, and then he's going to Jonesboro from there.
Yep.
And you're just going from here to Jonesboro.
Yeah.
Are you going with somebody, or are you?
Amanda might come, but as of right now, it's not
You're not
any
going with
other golfer. It's
no.
just me.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how far of a drive is that? That's what, Arkansas?
Yeah.
Sweet.
12 and a half hours.
Oh, that's not bad. I thought it was more than that.
Yeah.
It's really only 12 and a half hours?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah. It's not terrible. It
I
was
was
like,
thinking like 18.
no, I don't, for whatever reason, too. In the beginning, I was like, oh, sweet. I get to go play Jonesboro in Texas.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, where I got that from, but, like, for the longest time, it's like, oh, it's in Texas. And it's like, that's going to be a long fucking drive. Because I've driven from here to Texas before, minimum 24 hours. And I was just like, that's just going to suck or whatever. And then a couple of weeks ago, I looked at it, I was like, oh, it's in Arkansas. Where did I get Texas from?
Yeah.
And then I looked at the drive last night or the night before. And so I was like, all right, sweet. It's like the same drive that I just did to Massachusetts, just south.
The other way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited for that.
Cool.
So we'll see. If Amanda goes, she's sometimes hit or miss with driving. Like the last time we took a trip somewhere, she like drank a Monster and she was just like,
Yeah.
let's
Like,
go.
I got
Yeah.
it. I got it. We're good.
Yeah.
I got it. You just sit there and sweat and vibrate. keep it over there. Keep it over there. We're good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gabby drove. I forget where she drove. We were driving and she drove most of the way.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Ludington. But most of the time it's just me. I just drive. Like I'm a driver. I have been. forever.
Yep.
So like I'll just get in and drive. I'm good. I know you're shocked, but I don't have to stop to pee very often. I just go.
Yeah, for some reason, Darren has 2 bladders. He's got podcast bladder, which is actually holding up really strong right now.
Yeah.
And then you've got driving bladder.
Yeah. Because even when I disc golf, my bladder's similar to podcast bladder. But when I get
You
behind,
peed after the first hole today.
no,
Yes.
it was after we were on the back 9 when I peed. We were on the second hole, of the back 9.
Are you sure?
Yep.
I have the footage.
I
I'll
know.
review.
I know what tree it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, as long as it's not cold, like I'm good.
Yeah.
But no, when I drive, because like I've spent so much time driving. When I drove, when I was in horses, I probably drove like 22 or 24,000 miles a year
Wow.
doing that because
Yeah.
you just travel every week basically or whatever.
Yeah.
So I just have that gear I can shift into and just drive. Like I could drive 24 hours, no problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know Dave did a 46-hour straight drive, like obviously stopping for gas.
Yeah.
Just recent. I think he got there the day of the putting league or whatever. Like, that's a long drive. Oh my god,
Yeah.
dude.
I shipped
Yeah.
horses from here to Florida. Got there, slept in the truck for a little bit, and then drove back up. That's the most driving I ever did. And I think it was like 20 and some change down, 20 and some change up.
Yeah.
But with horses, like it's a little bit different because your anxiety level is like, it's up.
Yeah.
Because like if you get like whatever, it can get complicated fast, basically. So that
Yeah.
was the most I ever did with that. It wasn't many things, but I just kept going. You know, you had to keep going.
Yeah.
So once
I don't mind driving. I'm looking forward to it. Like driving to like Grand Rapids to go visit Dickie, like
Yeah.
those couple times or whatever. Like just zoning out, being able to zone out because you're on the same road for 95% of the way. That it's just like I'll sit there and I just get in tune with like a Rogan podcast.
I was gonna say.
and yeah.
Joe Rogan on the road, I'm good.
Yes.
If I could do 3 Rogans and it takes me like 7 or 8 hours to get there, I'm gold.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
gold.
for sure.
Because like,
Yeah.
you know, after the second one, I'll probably stop and take a piss, gas up, get back in, and go.
Yeah. Oh, it was great too because like I loaded up, I think like 10 episodes I downloaded on the podcast app or whatever,
Yeah.
or when I went to go with Phil, and then we just talked the whole fucking time. It
Yeah.
was just at the end of it, I was like, I listened to no Joe Rogan
Yeah.
on either 20 hours of driving. Like,
No Rogan.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was
All
hilarious.
Phil.
Yeah,
Ka.
yeah,
All
was
Phil and his
great.
ka.
it was great.
So I want to put a challenge out.
Yeah,
Yeah, I just thought of it while you were talking
Okay.
before. So I want to challenge the viewership
ooh,
to take on these podcasters in a challenge. So if you are watching,
listening, whatever.
listening, either way, and you have a challenge that you and your buddy would like to take us on at, we will do it.
hmm
We will do it.
Within reason.
Yeah.
That reason being, we're relatively close to each other. You think, or what? What are you thinking?
Well, let's just see what comes up.
Okay.
And it has to be a challenge that involves like something reasonable, right? Like I'm not going to go somewhere to play tortilla disc golf with somebody, and I'm not going to go somewhere and play with like Dixie plates. You know what I mean? Like it has to be like a legit disc
Yeah.
golf challenge.
Yeah, exactly. Not like Will at Heiser and they're throwing a refrigerator.
Right, right, right. But I think like we're good. So if you can add, or even if you just like send us your ideas, we can iron out the details of it, and I think that would be
Yeah.
solid. We can come
I'm
up.
down.
We can come up with a prize package.
Yeah,
can
I was
go.
actually super excited for the video today as we were doing it, more so just because it's like I wanted to do some content. I like doing stuff with other people. Again, I think accountability is a huge factor of it, but
Yeah.
also you're getting to do something fun with a friend of yours or whatever,
Yeah,
that it makes it just more entertaining just in general. Like I know that Simon and Eagle get like ragged on for X, Y, and Z, but I think they're good enough friends that it's just like they're able to do the things and flow off of each other and have this really good. Even if I try talking to you and I'm just whoever, but like when they're together doing their thing, it works pretty well.
yeah,
That I legitimately think ours can be better
yeah.
because Simon's personality isn't matched by Eagles. Eagles is very meh, and he like tries really hard. And I was laughing at like the last one where it's just very weird. But I like Simon's insight on stuff,
Yeah.
and everything. But I
Yeah.
think we'd be able to do
Simon's
a good
wicked
job of
smart.
Yeah.
Wicked smart. He's a wicked smart dude.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah, but I think that'd be good. People have an idea. We have a whole shit ton of resources here.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'm up for it. I think it'd be good if people have something that they currently do that they think would be a good challenge that we could go in on, or if they wanted to do a challenge that we've done or whatever, like I'm in. I think it'd be good to have us
To challenge ourselves.
to challenge somebody else.
Yeah.
Us as a squad do it. I think that would be good.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, were you ready to work out?
Yeah, I'm down. There's a lot more stuff for me to do today still.
Yeah, you got
Next
a whole
up
day
is working out.
working
Yeah.
out, and then you have you've got to film some soccer later.
Yeah, some varsity. Adams might kick the crap out of the other team again.
Yeah,
It's gonna be good.
at least you get to film a team that's like dominant.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Really
totally. Like I just started doing this for this guy. Like he's got a whole slew of I think he's got like 9 cameramen that go and like film games and everything, and having a history in soccer, it makes it more like I can get into it, which is sweet. And so I'm not just like standing there, like I am just standing there filming, but also like I can get into it too. I can't audibly say stuff because
Right.
camera's right here, but it's a good time. And
Fuck!
yeah. God, that guy sucks. Yeah.
Is he even awake out
Yeah,
there?
or the one goalie who just wouldn't move his fucking legs to try to save the ball, and then they're like getting mad that it. Anyways,
Yeah.
it's a good time,
Yeah,
and like being able to film the winning team, or like at least a team that seems they know what they're doing and
Yeah.
is willing to do stuff and looks like they're actually varsity. Sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
here you go out and film like the Bad News Bears, and they just
Yeah.
get slaughtered every week.
Yeah, the first game was JV right before them, and like I know that like the crowd was younger, but also like, man, like derp derp derp, like hustle something, kick the ball. I don't know.
Right.
These guys like butt heads, headbutt, dude. Last game I filmed, header. Sorry, ball goes out, tossed in, header. Before it even touched the ground, and then it was like chaos.
Yeah.
It was crazy. I don't know. It was like a weirdly neat thing that it was just like boing, boing, like off of people's faces.
Yeah.
And then later on in the game, this one kid, his number 7, I don't know what his name is, his ability to launch a fucking throw in is amazing.
Yeah.
Like how far every time he did it, like he would have like like David Wiggins, like 360 run up, like the equivalent of that, and then just like double hand it from like a third of the way down the field to try to get his teammate to be able to just head it into the goal is hilarious. Like he
Yeah.
sets it up for him like every time.
Yeah.
It's bonkers. Anyways,
Yeah.
I digress.
I digress.
Yeah. Let's go work out. Let's
Let's
get it.
All right, let's get it. Later, guys.
Bye.
Bye.